The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
Well, happy Valentine's Day, you heartbreakers.
Hey, fool, this is Mr. T, and I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day.
What's your problem with Valentine's?
One more time.
What's your problem with Valentine's Day?
Oh, Valentine's Day, isn't it nice? Love is in the air.
Thank you, February 14th, for being the day we've chosen to celebrate love, right when our winter bods are hitting peak blob. Thank you, heart-shaped box of chocolates, for being the perfect way to say, girl, I was at CVS 90 seconds ago.
Anybody can be Prince Charming one day a year with the dinner and the flowers and all that. But you know what impresses me? When a guy can do that no days a year.
Happy Valentine's Day, bitch. Showtime.
Well, isn't this just the cutest damn thing in the world? It's the Valentine's Day broadcast of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to those of you who acknowledge it. If you don't, then good morning, it's Wednesday.
Your first Valentine's Day with your new wife. Anything special planned? Maybe you'll go to, I don't know, the Legion, perhaps?
It's funny you say that. Yeah, I'm going to go to the Legion tonight and have a cheeseburger. She wants to come with, great. If she doesn't...
They do anything special there, like a surf and turf or any sort of romantic candlelight?
Heart-shaped burger patty.
Candlelight. I haven't looked it up. I don't know. I could... I'll check my newsletter, my American Legion newsletter, and see. I highly doubt it, but yeah, it's funny you bring that up, Josh, and mention the Legion, because yeah, I'm going out there tonight to have a cheeseburger. If the wife is with me, terrific. If she isn't, neither one of us gives two pumps.
I'm sure she'll want to be with her betrothed on a day like today.
Yeah. Her betrothed.
Little romance, at least the first one.
I didn't even think about that first Valentine's Day with the new friggin' wife.
I got you.
We don't think like that. We're not that. We're not set up like that with all that romance and this and that. So I'll leave that to the rest of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys knock yourselves out. Good luck to you folks who are going out on an important date tonight. That often can be a disaster. When you try too hard, it usually backfires. But I'm just picturing, maybe there's a few of yous out there who, of course, it's not necessarily a first date. That would be pretty awkward to take somebody out on Valentine's Day for your first date. That's a little bit of pressure and kind of some weird vibes there.
That's weird.
But I imagine there's a few people who, you're just starting to get things cooking with a new partner, you know what I mean? And maybe you've decided to take them out on Valentine's Day, and
some pressure there.
You're really hoping that this will lead to, that this will head in the right direction for you.
Yeah, the first one in a new relationship. There could be a little extra pressure on both people.
Absolutely.
But I could also see people wanting to have a first date on Valentine's Day, for their origin story, if they're projecting decades in the future, telling their grandkids what it was like.
Their origin story.
This is where we started, kids.
This is all stuff that didn't exist until social media.
Sharing all that kind of stuff publicly.
You kind of make an effort to create a great story so then you can share it on social media with total strangers and impress them with your wonderful life.
Yeah, because Arbor Day, nobody cares you got married on Arbor Day, or you hooked up on Arbor Day. You want to fall in love on a day like Valentine's Day. What a story.
I never in a million years would have considered the origin story. Is that kind of like, Josh, you know some people who talk about their legacy?
Oh, yeah. I've got a couple of fun experiences with that.
That was the word, right? The legacy?
Legacy,
yeah. Just an average sumbitch, just an average swinging D. Nothing terribly special about them. But they talk about they're worried about their legacy.
Yeah, a friend of mine was a high school basketball player, bench rider. I don't know if he ever...
Dude, he made the high school basketball team?
JV.
That is incredible.
And I don't know
Junior varsity.
I don't know if he ever really got into a game, even with injury and stuff like that. I think they just said, you know what, we're going with 4. We're not going to put this guy out there.
Yeah, right.
Play down.
But his son goes to this, he ends up going to the same high school as he did.
Oh, that's a cool thing. Hey, I went there, and now you're going to go to my old alma mater, my boy. Look at my boy.
And it's not like any place where they're going to film a movie like Hoosiers about, right? It's a regular school, a fine school.
Not a school with multiple
city
state
school
championships.
Nothing like that.
Not a school that has a deep tradition of sending kids off to the NBA.
No.
Just your regular high school.
This particular school, not even really sending kids off to college or successful careers, but it's a school nonetheless.
Right.
And his son makes the JV team, just like Dad, decades ago.
Wow. That is
Same
great.
school.
Great.
And he says, it's just nice that he's going there and he's made the team because of the legacy. What do you mean legacy? Well, legacy. I went there and I played basketball. Now he has carried on the tradition in the family.
Man.
Like, so weird.
Didn't you have to have some success to make it a legacy, and the name is recognized? Like Larry Fitzgerald Jr. went to my high school after I did.
Right, he has a legacy.
He's got and people talk. He went here. Can you believe Larry Fitzgerald Jr. went here?
They still tell stories about him today, 25, 30 years at right.
Right, that's a legacy. If his son ends up going to Holy Angels, that's going to be a legacy.
Right.
And he ends up becoming a star football player like his dad.
Dork JV dad produces Dork JV son.
Right.
The legacy.
The legacy.
I love that stuff.
Almost a tear in his eye when he thought about that. The tradition.
I'm drawn to these kind of overblown versions of reality that we get a lot these days. The legacy. What did you say originally? We were...
Your origin story?
Origin story. Life. Everyone's life is what nowadays?
A journey.
It's a journey. It used to just be you were born...
You did some stuff.
You did some stuff, and then you died. But now it's a journey.
Seal Coat Jesus, he's texted in and said he and his wife met at Target, so it's kind of an origin story, sure.
That's pretty cute.
So yeah, there could be some of yous out there where tonight is a big effing deal.
So I worked at restaurants, but I was always in the back. And I don't remember.
Maybe one day one of your children will also. One of your children someday might also work in the back at a restaurant. Yeah. Maybe the same restaurant that you worked at.
OMG.
That is called continuing the legacy.
Carrying on that good earth legacy.
You remember that's one of the restaurants I worked at, yeah.
They're just back there whittling penises, too.
I did spend a lot of time. We had those big organic carrots, and I can whittle one hell of a penis out of that root vegetable.
Your son walks back into the kitchen for the first time, and they're kind of looking at him like, some big shoes to fill, man. Big shoes to fill.
Your dad. He was the dick guy, wasn't he? We remember him.
So you were saying you worked in the back at a restaurant or two.
And I don't remember if Valentine's Day was a big day or not. Maybe I didn't work on one. I don't know. I always romancing the attractive ladies. But you guys worked in restaurants. Was Valentine's Day? It's got to be a big one, right?
I usually took it off.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not too many people go to Red Robin for Valentine's Day.
All right, the Good Earth wasn't necessarily a hot spot for romance either.
I'd F up a Red Robin tonight. That sounds awesome.
But I wonder if an Olive Garden's going to be popping.
Yeah, I bet it will be.
Oh, I guarantee, yep.
I mean, I know little about Valentine's Day celebrations. I've never really been with a partner who gave too much of a rat's ass about Valentine's Day. But one thing's for sure, the restaurants all over town are usually pretty stacked.
Your nicer restaurants.
The day before, the day of, and the day after.
It's nothing compared to something like Mother's Day and all that, though. Oh, yeah. Especially because on Valentine's Day, people are usually sitting for a while. And so it's not like constantly...
I'm not sure what you mean.
So it's not that crazy busy because, I mean, for example... If you're a server, you have 4 or 5 tables, and those people are sitting there for at least like an hour or two.
They take
so you're
their time
not like
with it.
flipping them over constantly. Like
On Mother's Day,
Mother's Day is brutal.
Yeah.
So you're saying on Mother's Day, folks come in, they eat, they leave. On Valentine's Day, they come in, they eat, they sit there for
They
2.5
linger.
hours, and then they leave.
Well, and Mother's Day is worse because people don't want their mom to make the Mother's Day meal. So they just go out to restaurants.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much every Mother's Day for us.
Yeah.
We'll hit a buffet.
a buffet, nice.
Yeah, no one could take off Mother's Day. You had to work.
That's funny you say that, Wapple, about, and of course it makes perfect sense. It's Mother's Day. You want to coddle the old lady, and, she doesn't. No, you don't lift a finger. We'll handle everything. We'll take you out or we'll make the dinner at home. That's not the way a couple of my buddies think. Their mother just turned, I don't know, I think 93 or 94 years old. And I believe it was her last birthday, not that she's gone, that's not what I mean by last birthday, her more recent birthday. This lady is old, right? And I run into these two guys, they're brothers, and I say, it's your mother's birthday. What are you guys planning tonight? Oh, well, she's going to have us over at the house and make us some casserole.
Oh, God. Come on.
Jeez.
And I said, you're not even going to... She's an old lady now. Oh, no, she loves to do it.
Oh, all right.
I said, for Christ's sake, take her to Arby's.
Yeah,
This makes her day, taking care of the family.
And she's had I don't know, at one point or another, they had 11 or 12 kids in the house. I mean, give this lady a break. What are you doing for your mother's 94th birthday? Well, we're going over to her house. She's going to make some casserole.
Oh, man.
While I sit on the couch and swill beer.
Gross.
But you didn't mean not to, Jesus. Said that if we could work on a meet cute, that'd be amazing. I forgot about meet cute. I don't like that. I don't like it when people say meet cute.
Talk to me about what this means.
Like instead of, I should have said meet cute instead of origin story. Your adorable getting together story. Yeah.
Oh, another word for an origin story for a couple is a meet cute?
Yeah, I bump into a young woman and I knock over some of her grocery bags and I help her pick it up and we lock eyes.
And you both grab the same thing at the same time, and your hands kind of touch.
I'm going to throw up.
And at first she thinks I'm kind of ugly, but I take my glasses off and then she's like, whoa, he's a totally different guy. He really blossomed in the last couple of seconds.
Why do people talk like this?
A meet cute?
Why do folks insist on pushing these slang terms and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't really like that either. Steelers fan Jesus, he doesn't know where his journey will take him this Valentine's Day, but it definitely includes a heart-shaped pizza and a BJ he's probably not going to get.
That sounds beautiful.
I don't even know.
Hey, Josh, if you take those glasses off and look sexy and kind of whip back your head, do you think you'd grow hair too?
At that time? Yeah. My hair would come back. I mean, you're kind of suggesting that somebody who's bald is not attractive? Don't think that was lost on me.
I didn't mean that.
You meant that.
Okay, no, I did.
Nate said today's his 4-year anniversary. 4-year anniversary is serving divorce papers to my ex-wife, he said.
Is that
Congrats.
right? Is that a true story?
Did you purposely make sure that it's on this day? That's a little dark.
I could see you doing that though, Ashley, to really twist the dagger.
100%.
Hey, that's exciting. So there's all kind of dates going on tonight. Maybe you've been with someone for 30 years. You're going out to 5 years. First dates, like I said, I think it'd be a little weird to go on a first date on Valentine's Day, but there's all types out there.
I'm not going out to anywhere fancy. Me and the boyfriend are doing it at home today.
I bet you are.
Not a church parking lot like our conversation yesterday?
I bet you are.
But the one thing I'm going to miss that was always kind of fun, probably / terrible of me to do, was going out to a nice restaurant and looking around and trying to figure out, kind of being judgy and being like, oh, how long do you think they're going to last? What kind of relationship do they have? Oh, I give them 3 months. They're definitely new. Stuff like that. That was always kind of fun.
What about Dana and his currently engaged fiance now?
Oh, that'd be fun because I would look at your hand and realize you don't have a ring.
But I still have my ex-wife's initials tattooed on my finger.
Oh, that would be so fun. Yes.
Yeah, has she said anything? Your future wife?
Yeah, I'm getting it covered up soon.
Has she mentioned that?
She has, yeah. At first, she was like,
time.
at first, when we started dating, she's like, yeah, no, it's fine. I don't care. And then after we got serious, she goes, yeah, you really should do something about that now.
Just tell her that she's got to change her name.
Yeah. That's the easier of the two solutions.
Hey, you know what, Dana? Look into my eyes.
Yeah.
Take a stand. Leave the tattoo. Leave it.
Yeah.
Josh knows this is a big sticking point with me. What your life was before she came around is not her problem. Leave the tattoo.
Because it's HB, so what I always tell people is I'm a hoverboard enthusiast. That's why that's what it stands for.
I was on the ground floor of that.
You tattooed your ex-wife. Well, at one point, of course, she was. So you tattooed her name on your finger, her initials on your finger. Leave it.
That would be kind of funny if you left it there.
Your new lady's just going to have to deal with it.
And then if you guys are ever in an argument, you could slowly start taking off that ring.
Yeah.
Just
showing her what's underneath.
So
I can always go back.
What were you saying, Ashley? You go out to bars and you look at other couples and you try to judge, what they're about, how long they've been together. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, on Valentine's Day. That's
just
always kind of fun.
Yeah. Have you ever been right? I suppose you don't ask them to confirm.
I never see them again.
Here's my number. Can you text me in 6 months? I got a question for you.
I like to see who ends up paying. That's always fun, too.
Jesus.
How long do you stay?
Usually a while. Yeah. Have a couple drinks.
Watch your own bobber, folks would say. What about Valentine's Day blind dates? Anyone ever heard of one of those?
Oh,
but you know
no.
what? But here's something that just crossed my mind. Blind dates aren't really a big deal anymore because they're so common.
And you can look them up.
Right, with the, what do you call these things on your cell phone? The
dating apps.
Dating apps and Tinder.
Social media, yeah.
All those, text a girl at 2 a.m. you never met before. She's at your place at 2:30 and she's totally nude.
You're looking up their criminal records, see if there's been any articles on the paper about them.
It's really not that big of a deal anymore to go on a blind date because, hell, folks have blind orgies now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
With all those technological advancements, you can just dial up a dozen people, have them at your house in a half hour you never met, and you're pumping away. So, blind date, I don't know.
I haven't. I've never been on an official blind date. I was on a date with a girl I had just met. We went out on a date, but just like happened to our meet cute. We happened to run into each other at an event, and we went on a date. It was the worst date I ever had. I've told the story before, but it was terrible, absolutely terrible. But that's the closest I've ever come to something like that. Never been set up where they say because back in the day when I was single, there really wasn't a lot of that kind of thing.
Right,
couldn't look somebody up on Facebook because there's no Facebook.
Your friends just kind of set you up with people. Oh, I think you two might get along really well. You should meet up.
Yeah, never had that happen.
I had one that I can remember, and there probably was more, but one 100% altogether blind date, and it was a disaster. This was, I think, emails were traded. I think that's how it started. It couldn't have been emails. It was too long ago. Yeah, it couldn't have been electronic mail because it was too long ago. But I don't remember the origin story. But I somehow was to meet this lady at a bar, and she told me, you'll know who I am when you walk in because I look a lot like Lindsay Lohan. Well, wait a minute. There were still electronic mails when Lindsay Lohan became a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it must have been emails. You'll know me when you get to the bar because I look like Lindsay Lohan. And as Josh could tell you, this had me pumped.
You were a fan.
Still am.
For sure.
And I walked into this joint, and I looked around for 10 minutes, and I didn't see anybody who looked anything like Lindsay Lohan. And then I see a hand raised at the bar, and it was this lady. I see you looking around. You must be Nick, right? Yeah, I am. Well,
who are you?
She had red hair. That was the only thing she had in common with Lindsay Lohan.
Looked more like Lindsey Graham than Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. We didn't plan on having dinner. We just planned on, having a couple of drinkies and maybe getting to know each other a little bit. I drank a beer faster than maybe I ever had. And then said thank you and goodbye.
I would never set myself up like that.
Yeah, that's bold.
Yeah, I would throw. If you say I look like Lindsay Lohan, who everyone knows is very pretty, you're setting yourself up.
Yeah, you better look exactly like her. Like, people get you confused.
Right. Bold on her part?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bold on maybe, I don't know. Was I showing any boldness there?
No, by believing her?
No, by showing up.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure I know you think you could land Lindsay Lohan, and you probably could.
Yeah, I don't know. It was disappointing.
I bet.
Yeah,
that is always the worst. Like, when you're meeting up with somebody and you're like, oh, please don't be a catfish. Please don't be a catfish, please.
So what does that mean now again? Show up? Please don't be a catfish?
Like, they look nothing like their pictures at all.
You're
That's
telling
another
me that
thing I wouldn't do.
That's the worst one.
I wouldn't want to see the disappointment on someone's face when I walked in.
So are you saying that in this Lindsay Lohan situation, I was catfished? I thought
you're duped.
Duped?
I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought catfishing had to do with great dishonesty.
Catfishing would be if she said she was Lindsay Lohan.
Ah, there you go,
Wapple.
Because, I mean, this lady might have looked, the one I went on the blind date with, she might have looked in the mirror and thought to herself, legitimately, I look like Lindsay Lohan, right? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like she was being dishonest with me. She just saw something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
But you're right, Wapple. Catfishing would be she said she was Lindsay Lohan.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is pretty common, though, for people on those dating apps to use a picture of them from 5-6 years ago, maybe 20, 30 pounds ago.
Yep, always with the weight.
Did you guys do that? Be honest. You guys were all on those apps?
Nope.
Not at all?
No.
So,
I did use one picture where I was slightly more blonde.
Oh.
And I even felt bad about that. But it worked out.
Well, that's a good thing. You were honest.
But you didn't mean not to. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Almost honest. What band?
Oh, Megadeth.
Megadeth. What album?
That was the thing.
Cryptic Writings.
Cryptic Writings, yep.
What year? 97. Go ahead.
But you didn't mean not to. Jesus has checked back in and has a question for you, Dana.
Yeah.
A couple of them. Mm-hmm. Are your hair plugs equivalent to your ex-wife's breast implants?
I never thought about that.
Did you think, hey, two can play at that game?
Well, the hair transplant took place a couple years after the divorce.
Well, you got to save up.
As opposed to her boob job, which happened almost immediately.
Yeah.
So,
But they both are, some form of
performance enhancer?
That's a decent way to put it. Appearance enhancer.
Yeah,
for sure.
Appearance enhancer.
Yeah, I never thought of it. Yeah, I guess I kind of did the same thing.
He's probably like, what the heck, man?
He has a follow-up question, and I'm very interested in this answer.
Mm-hmm.
Did your ex-wife get engaged?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
You thought like I was just trying to keep up?
Well, he's wondering, are you trying to keep up? He specifically says, is Dana trying to keep up?
Oh, wow.
Wouldn't that be something?
That's a great question.
That's a wonderful question.
What about
watch her
Ashley?
get engaged today or something. That'd be fun.
Does your ex have a new wife, Ashley?
No, he does not. Not that I know of. That'd be surprising.
I have had friends. I don't follow my ex-wife on Instagram, not for any reason, but just don't. But I've had multiple friends reach out to me and say that after I posted about getting engaged, she started posting a lot of bikini photos with her new boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And her Instagram handle is what now?
Here's the thing, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this new lady. You asked her to marry you already. She said yes.
She did.
She has a slight problem with your ex-wife's initials still being tattooed on your finger. Mm-hmm. Very small.
Yeah.
Very small. I will pay you $50 every month you don't remove that tattoo.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to add $50 to that.
Dude.
Because it's not her business.
That's what the HB could stand for.
What's the HB stand for?
Her business, and then you just put a circle with an X through it. Add on to that thing.
You're looking at $100 every month you don't remove that tattoo.
This is a great deal. I'm stoked.
You're not going to do it.
Tattoo's going to pay for itself.
You got to take a stand on this.
All right.
I'm tired, everybody. I'm tired of all you bros buckling under pressure. Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Do it for the dudes everywhere.
Do it for the dudes.
Do it for all those
for the dudes.
small town kids who never had a chance to be there. Like they said in the movie Hoosiers.
Great movie. Bass Slayer Jesus says, when do we get to bust Dana's balls about his engagement? Well, we've been doing that all week. That's what we're doing right now.
It's kind of been a common theme this week.
Go ahead. We're wide open here.
Bring it on, Bass Slayer Jesus.
No reason to hesitate. Bust his balls.
So far, the office pool says the wedding's not even going to happen.
Well,
next year is what you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of time to screw up before then.
God, I hope I don't, to be
A
honest.
lot of time.
But I probably will.
Most likely, yeah.
And the $100 that you receive every month from Josh and I for not removing your ex-wife's initials from your body cannot go anywhere but in your pocket. Don't you take that $100 and take your new fiance out to Nordstrom's.
No, that's going straight in my wing and Lego budget.
Well, no,
do you mind sharing a text you, or at least a part of a group you told me you were part of yesterday?
Oh, the AFOL Minnesota chapter?
Yeah, explain to everybody. I'm sure everyone already knows.
Everybody knows that AFOL.
Is this going to piss me off?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
AFOL stands for Adult Fan of Legos.
The Minnesota chapter.
The Minnesota chapter.
You're a
yes.
part of it.
The local chapter.
I love it. You were telling me other people that I know who are on that, and I was shocked. I didn't know there were big Lego fans like that.
Yeah. And the guy who runs it's a big fan of the show.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's pretty cool.
Is there a decent-sized group?
Yeah, it's a couple thousand people.
Are you serious? Whoa. That's impressive.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is a good point by a couple of members of the Brotherhood. You mentioned before your fiance, she teaches young kids. And that probably helps, to hook up with a guy like yourself.
Yeah.
She's used to that level of enthusiasm about life, naivete, perhaps.
Immaturity,
and playing with toys.
Right, yeah. So she basically teaches second graders and then comes home to about a 5th or 6th grade maturity level. So
Does she give you, homework and stuff? Does she meet with your parents for some conferences? Yeah. Say how you're doing?
We need to talk about your son's behavior.
Well, there you go, everybody. It's stinking Valentine's Day. Like I said earlier, if this is something that you buy into, best of luck to you. If you go the other way with it and you don't give a rat's ass, well then, good morning, it's Wednesday. We got plenty to do this morning. Brad Ryder, Randy Shaver, they're going to swing by about 7:30. I don't know if we have any great giveaways today. Maybe some more Monster Jam tickets?
Yeah, we got that.
So we got that going forward to us. How does a grown person say that? We've got that going for us, too. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, before we suck today's stupid news, By God, I received a couple of text messages that I'd like to share. What were we talking about earlier? Well, today is the Valentine's Day edition of the Half-Assed Morning Show. Josh was talking about, people these days, they just love to make their ordinary life sound so grand and unique and special. People talk about their journey. Nowadays, you can't say, well, here's where me and my wife met. Nowadays, you have to say, here's our origin story. Okay?
Our meet cute.
Our meet. So, what do I have here? This is pretty interesting. A lady texted in and said she met her husband in the nursery when she was born. He's 35 years older than... I'm kidding. They were born 12 hours apart in the same hospital, she and her husband. Their mothers even shared a hospital room.
Weird.
That's their origin story. Her husband jokes that his wife saw his package and she was hooked.
That's funny. And I guess he saw your mom's vagina. I hope he wasn't hooked. That would be disturbing. You do hear sometimes people will say, I looked back and on our 10th, my 10th birthday, my parents took me to Maui. And in the background, there's my husband as a 10-year-old kid as well.
That's pretty cool.
There was just a story like that floating around a couple weeks ago.
Dude. More text messages that have come in here on Valentine's Day. Classic Country Jesus texted in to say, Happy Valentine's Day. I'll be spending tonight cooking myself venison, drinking a few cans of Schmidt beer, and listening to Marty Robbins.
That's a man right there.
I'm kidding.
Marty Robbins, he's an old-timey country singer. He's been dead for decades now, if I remember right. Something interesting about Marty Robbins, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, and as you guys know, 9.9 times out of 10, I am right. Marty Robbins, he sang country music, and I believe he also drove NASCAR.
He did.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you saw
and
that already?
He had a wicked mustache.
Marty Robbins. All right, and one more text message. Josh was busting my chops about my Valentine's Day plans tonight, saying, I'm going to head out to the American Legion for a candlelight dinner. Well, I will be going out to the Legion tonight if everything works out. This is a funny text from Kickstand Jesus. He said, candlelight at the American Legion isn't about romance. It's about the regulars reliving their childhood.
Got a text here that says it's actually Happy Valentine's Day for the people who won't be getting any V or D today.
What the hell? All right, let's let the stupid news buck, if you don't mind. I don't know, I ain't the smartest peckerhead you'll ever meet, but so I guess I'm gonna try not to be too critical here, because I'm not the smartest effing guy, but at the same time, it's hard to believe how many poor sumbitches are falling for those phony hitman websites.
And really, it's just the one that has gotten so many people.
There's
really?
Only one?
Well, there could be more, but it's Rent a Hitman. That's the one that keeps getting people. That's the one that keeps making the news.
Okay. This is, like Josh was saying, this has become a thing lately. It keeps making the news. Dullards dial up, I guess, a specific website, rentahitman.com. They're looking to kill somebody dead. They think the website is real, and they start making offers. So here's a guy, the latest, who's been arrested for trying to have his girlfriend's mother killed via that rentahitman.com scheme. And he asked around about who might be available to gas his girlfriend, mama. He thought it was the real thing, and now he could be staring down 10 years in the Stony Lonesome. The dude goes by the name of Leaf. Don't call me Paul Heyman. He's 33 years old. Way too old to be falling for this. Back a couple years ago, Leaf submitted 3 service requests, is how they say it here in the story. He submitted 3 service requests for someone to kill his girlfriend's mother.
He really wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
On rentahitman.com. What Leaf didn't know is that the website is an effing joke. But he's not the only sucker falling for it. They mentioned this as well, Josh. Maybe you remember this. The story of an Air National Guardsman who looked up the site rentahitman.com and tried to get himself hired as a hitman?
Yeah, I was just on the website checking it out, and it does say you can submit a service request, and you can choose the nature of your message. And one of the things you can click is employment inquiries.
This guy was also dumb enough to think that the website was legitimate. He dialed them up and said, I'll kill folks. Hire me.
Yeah.
I'll kill folks for you. What the hell's the matter with you? The guy who created the website, he goes by the name of Bob Innes. He believes he has saved nearly 150 lives as a result of the website drawing in violent morons. So back to this Heyman dude who was looking to have his girlfriend's mother killed, dead. He sent messages to the website that said, if you don't do it, I will do it myself. He dumped out the lady's address and whatnot. He sent pictures of her to rentahitman.com. Here she is. This is who I want you to kill. The website even says, Summers in there, that anything you tell them could be leaked to law enforcement. Heyman didn't catch on to that. He sent numerous follow-up emails. He told the website he was losing his patience with how long the process was taking.
Why is she still alive?
Now, eventually, it sounds like Heyman might have figured the whole thing out. He sent an email to the website that said, quote, you guys are fake. But an undercover cop talked to Heyman and more or less said, yeah, we'll kill this lady for you. And Heyman said, okay, cool. How do we do this? He agreed to pay the hitman, the fake hitman, a cop, $200 to murder his girlfriend, Mamo.
In what world would it ever be that cheap?
There's a lot of things he missed. For example, if you were going to start a legitimate hitman website, first, you wouldn't find it on the regular web. That'd be a dark web thing. Secondly, you wouldn't put in a giant button at the bottom for media inquiries, contact us here. Yeah, if you have a hitman website, you're not going on the Today Show.
So there were even a couple other people that dumbass Leaf Heyman wanted the hitman to kill for him, but, I've had enough of this. Dude's in big trouble. By God, he is.
Just the fact that there'd be a website like this, that doesn't even tip him off? I don't know. That seems a little fishy. I'd just find the crookedest guy I know and then have him ask around. I think that's the way to do it.
Definitely.
Yeah, no paper trail there.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Find a guy named Mother Effer Jones. What movie? I can't even remember because I didn't like it at all.
Oh, well, it's
Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, that's the one.
Stupid movie.
I liked Horrible Bosses.
It's really stupid.
How do you think that was stupid? What about Jennifer Aniston in that movie?
Well, sure.
Man.
Sure, I'm not denying Jennifer's Aniston. If any of you have watched the 1986 true life documentary by the title of Crocodile Dundee, then this here next story will bring you back to when you watched the adventures of Mick Dundee for the first time. In Tacoma, Washington, a derelict pulled a knife on a convenience store owner, but the store owner scared off the derelict with an even bigger knife.
He said, hey, listen, this is a holdup. I said, okay. Why, I don't think so, buddy. And he jumped back there and fell down. I just want to scare him.
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
You heard the convenience store owner there. He goes by the name of Naif. And by the way, Crocodile Dundee came out, I believe, the summer before my 9th grade year in school, 1986. One of my pals was so influenced by Paul Hogan and his character of Mick Dundee that he came to the first year of 9th grade with his hair dyed blonde.
Wow.
And wearing some stupid Australian cowboy hat.
He went for it.
Yeah. Oh, I did love that movie, too.
And the first month of 9th grade, he would not talk to anybody in anything other than his stupid newfound Australian accent. I mean, it was ridiculous.
What do you mean Australian accent?
Canadian,
Angry bus driver.
I meant to say Canadian accent.
Angry bus driver Jesus said Crocodile Dundee is his favorite Canadian movie.
Absolutely. So here's this convenience store owner. He defended himself by hauling out a machete. Naif is his name. He runs the convenience store. He said the lowlife crook pointed a knife at him and said, "Listen, this is a holdup." And he demanded that Naif crack open the till and give him all the monies. But Naif said, quote, "I don't think so, buddy." And then he unsheathed his fat-ass machete. There's video of this. Naif is just a waving the machete in the guy's face. The poor bastard, probably out of fear, the crook, he fell backwards at one point or another, and Naif just pointed the machete at the prick. At least his plan was to point the machete at the prick until the cops showed up. But then Naif's old lady got involved and damn near screwed everything up, like spouses often do. She comes strolling into the store, and she was afraid that Naif was going to kill the poor guy, so she got between the two of them, and the derelict ran away. Thanks a lot, lady. But because of the surveillance videos and such, they were able to track this guy down and arrest him. It ain't over yet. The stupid idiot derelict crook, he was somehow released from police custody later that same day, and he returned to the store looking to kill Naif right then and there. But Naif's son and some of his friends were there, and this time they held the moron down until the cops came over there and arrested him again.
It's kind of funny the dude that pulled the knife's name is Naif.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. The guy got let out of jail the same day, and he shows up back at the store looking to kill somebody. Naif says he's been running the store since 2009. He said this isn't the first time he's been robbed, but it is the first time he used his machete other than the incident.
Checkerboard Vans Jesus said, "That's not a Naif. That's a Naif."
Man, the guy's friggin' wife shows up and almost lets the guy get away. This ought to be good right here because the main character in this next stupid news story is described as being, quote, super drunk. So, here we go.
Extra level of drunk. I bet Ashley's been super drunk recently.
No, it's been a while.
What does a while mean? Because remember when you gave up pot, but you only smoked it twice a week?
Yeah. Geez, I can't even remember.
That's because you were so drunk.
Exactly.
43-year-old guy in Florida named Jonathan Whitesides was arrested after he drunkenly drove up to a sheriff's substation on Sunday. What is a substation?
Is it just
just a cop shop? I mean, is that just a fancy word for the police station?
Well, I'm wondering if it's the same thing as how the Mall of America, they've got a little place for the Bloomington police. I wonder if that'd be something like that.
Like underneath it?
I don't even know.
Well, it's not even underneath it. It's right there when you walk in on, I forget where, but...
None of this matters. This is my fault. I don't know why it was bothering me, but what the hell is a sub? So, drunk guy, 43-year-old guy, he drove up onto the property of the sheriff's department. Jonathan is his name. It says here he's a mechanic for the local school board, and this whole nightmare started. He was towing an airboat. It fell off his trailer right in front of the police station. So cops noticed that, and they saw that Jonathan appeared to be drunk. Before they could nab him, Jonathan left the scene, but he came back later with another man named James. And the two men began arguing, so the cops came out to have a look-see. One deputy tried to get James to calm down, and then Jonathan took an aggressive stance towards the cop. He charged at him, and he yelled in his face. So two dummies arguing in the police station parking lot. Cops try to straighten it out. One of them, Jonathan, gets all aggressive about it. Jonathan was arrested, and 2 breath samples showed that his breath alcohol content, is how they say it here, was 0.334.
Whoa.
That is a lot.
That'll do it.
The second test they took, he spit a 0.307. So that's way over the legal threshold of 0.08.
I'd say so.
What the cops down there refer to as super drunk. Just when you think all hope is lost, he will appear and save the day. He's super drunk.
It'd be kind of funny if back at Detox they just put like a cape on you or something like that. Hey, look who it is, super drunk.
He's back.
He slurs his words and overreacts to things violently. He's super drunk. He wants desperately to have sex with you, but when you give in to his desires, he can't stay erect. He's super drunk. Speaking of drunks, here's one way to do it. An English dude called the cops to report himself for drunk driving.
There's a drunk on the road. This guy's all over the place. He's driving my car.
Obviously, it's funny, but maybe we should give the guy credit. I mean, it probably wasn't necessary to call the police and have yourself arrested. You could have just pulled over and took a nap in the ditch or something, but at least he didn't keep going and, T-bone a school bus.
Yeah, props to him for that.
I like his style.
The police in a town called North Yorkshire. Oh, that's friggin' England. I just remembered we're talking about England again. Police in a town called North Yorkshire got a call Monday afternoon. A guy was on the other end of the line who said he was, quote, drunk driving and doesn't know what he's doing. The honest man, he said he's in his 50s. He told the emergency operator that he had a weekend of heavy drinking, which I guess we have to assume spilled into Monday morning as well. I had a weekend of heavy drinking, he said. When the cops found him, they dumped an English breathalyzer on this guy, and he also, just like the guy in the last story, spit out 3 times the legal limit. And folks online are saying that this goat rodeo is similar to a story that I think old Cubby told us in his news report a while back. A drunk driver called police to report people driving on the wrong side of the road, and then it dawned on the effing guy that he was the one driving in the wrong lane, cruising into oncoming traffic.
It's pretty hilarious.
Dude.
That's not a good feeling when you notice that. Never mind. Bye.
Oh, this one's on me.
Yeah, I just walked into a public restroom and there's nothing but women in the men's room here. They're all over the place. I can't even see the urinals.
I'll tell you a story of drunk driving and also perfect timing. Years ago, we were still young men in the beginning stages of a long career in slow pitch beer league softball. This was the early days. Eventually, as you know, 11, 12 division titles. We became one of the most decorated beer league softball teams ever. In the early days, we played a tournament down in, I think we were in friggin' St. Peter. And one of the older guys on our roster got blasted out of his gourd on Saturday night, never slept. And then we have 3 games on Sunday.
Oh, brutal.
That sounds awful.
I vividly remember waking up, at 9:30 in the morning for our first game on Sunday, and here's one of the older guys on our roster, Donnie. He's still sitting by the campfire, still cracking beers. He never slept. So we all thought, here we effing go, right? So Donnie's so effing destroyed. During game 1, he gets in a big argument with the umpire. He gets thrown out. Now, we tried to keep his ass there. You know how it is. You do everything you friggin' can to keep these drunks from getting behind the wheel, but Donnie snuck away and he drove out of there. So, one of our teammates, I think after our second game, said, look, I'm going to leave because I want to make sure Donnie didn't die between here and St. Peter. We're calling his cell phone. He's not answering his cell phone. So there's like some concern there. So this teammate who leaves then calls it. We're playing our third game now. This teammate calls back and said, I found Donnie. He pulled over on the side of the road and he's sleeping in the ditch, which is hilarious. And it's good news. At least he's not. So this other teammate tries to get Donnie out of the ditch. He won't budge. But at least he pulled over and he's sleeping in the ditch, broad daylight. The third game gets over, I get on the road, and this is where perfect timing comes in. Our other buddy told us exactly where he was. He's just beyond mile marker, 118. His car, you'll recognize his car on the side of the road. I drove by Donnie's car, and right as I drove by, he sits up in the ditch. It was
like the Undertaker?
Yes, straight out of a movie. And I think it was my wife at the time. I'm like, oh, God, there's Donnie's car. And, we were told he was sleeping in the ditch. I'm like, he's down there somewhere. And right when I drove by, he goes, and sits up with just the most disheveled look on his face. His glasses are all crooked. It is alive. I remember, too, what got him kicked out of the game. He called the umpire a pork belly.
Oh. Was that a term he used a lot, or did that just come out of nowhere?
It was the first time I'd ever heard anyone called a pork belly, and I believe it was the last. But they're going back. That wasn't a ball. That was a strike. And Donnie says, whatever, pork belly. And the umpire says, you're out of here.
Pork belly.
Mm-hmm.
Did he just call me a pork? Do I eject him for that?
Right. Yeah, I'd try to look around too for some support.
Yeah, did you guys? Did he say pork belly?
Whatever you say, pork belly.
I mean, he didn't swear. I can't really eject him.
20 minutes later, he's in a ditch off of 169. Just
he showed that
Yeah.
All right, we got to get going here. I know I'm a boring person, but I think even I could come up with some better ideas than this effing guy if I ever decided to go out and spend some money by using somebody else's credit card, without their knowledge. If I swipe somebody else's credit card, I think I could come up with some better ways to spend that money. A guy in a town called Port Charlotte, Florida. He's looking at 2 years probation, 50 hours of community service. After he was arrested, this was back in October. He was arrested for fraudulently using his coworker's credit card to buy things like a pumpkin.
Well, he wanted to get that jack-o'-lantern ready, I guess, for Halloween.
See what I mean? You got somebody else's credit card? You went out and bought a pumpkin?
Those can get expensive, I guess.
Will you please?
Yeah, but you're not paying for it.
Right.
Yeah, true.
I mean, why would you get something more expensive?
This guy's known by the name of Edward Atwood. He's 40 years old. He was caught on video using his coworker's credit card. He works over there, Josh, at the neighborhood Chili's restaurant.
Oh, man. Dana's going to get taken there pretty soon.
Yeah, it's coming.
One of his coworkers over there at Chili's said that she dropped her wallet and every damn thing in the Chili's parking lot one night and couldn't find her credit card or her license or any damn thing. Well, it ended up that our guy Edward was the guy who picked up her stuff and he took it all to use himself. When this poor gal who lost all of her stuff checked her bank statement, she saw that someone was running around town. Town is how you say it, running around town, buying things on her credit card. Cops were able to obtain security video footage of her credit card being used at different places, and that's how they identified Edward Atwood. I said his name was, right? Yeah, Edward Atwood. In each video, they saw old Ed wearing his Chili's hat, God, I want a Chili's hat.
That'd be cool.
What is it with some businesses that won't sell their hats to you? It frustrates me.
I agree.
I'm trying to think. Like, say, you know what? Every once in a while, I'll go to not Napa Auto Parts. What's the other one?
O'Reilly?
O'Reilly. They got these cool hats, and I never.
You can buy Chili's hat online if you're interested.
Online is, I don't know how to do that. And I'm not trying to pick on anybody. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe O'Reilly's does sell ball caps there at the store. I just, in my head, I'm not picturing that being available to me. I just...
Oh, yeah, they got some cool hats.
Who?
Chili's.
Chili's has cool.
Looking on the website.
Of course they do. They're big on. They're so big on social media now. That makes sense.
It's like I want a Home Depot hat. I want all these things. Anyway, so dude's out there buying stuff. He's wearing his Chili's hat. He's using the gal's credit card. And in one video, he's seen buying a case of beer and a pumpkin. When the cops went to his house to talk to him about all this, they saw a freshly carved pumpkin in the driveway. Dude, that's funny.
It is.
Yep.
Cops found the poor gal's credit cards and her driver's license and everything else there at Ed's place. So Ed's going to go bye-bye.
You can buy O'Reilly's hats on their website. And $8. $8 for a hat. That's a good deal.
That's a great
deal.
Well, just for simple, hey, O'Reilly's, I dig your vibe. I go in there once in a while. Oh, the other day I went in there. What did I buy? One of those deals that where you can check the tread on your tire. You know that little miniature measuring stick thing. You check the tread.
Oh,
Who
yep.
knows what I'm talking about?
Yes.
A penny?
A penny.
Yeah. I just use
Some
a
people
penny.
use a coin, but yeah, you can get a fancy tool.
In the old days, we used to use coins, but I thought I'd upgrade my toolbox. You got a problem with that, Wapple?
Maybe.
I do love that you went out of your way to go to O'Reilly's to get that.
Well, it wasn't out of my way. It's right down the... Anyway, for simple folks like myself, start selling hats in the store. Some of us don't know how to operate the internet.
Maybe they do and you just didn't notice.
Maybe, exactly. Like I said before, maybe they do, I just didn't. What time is it? Do we have time?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Thailand, okay? They've become the new Australia here in our stupid news report. For a while there, we couldn't shake Australia. There was story after story of Australians acting up. Now, lately, it's Thailand. And just for the record, it's not the Thai people who are making the news for their ridiculous behavior. It's folks who go there on, as my dad used to say, vacation. Nobody can behave themselves while on vacation in Thailand. This one is pretty simple. A couple of tourists thought it was cool for the two of them to go ahead and get naked and have doggy-style sex right there on the beach in Thailand. And the locals said, "No, you dummies, you can't do that." Well, from the blurred pictures I saw, it was either doggy-style or a good solid pegging. I can't be sure.
I think it was doggy style.
I think it was pegging.
Let's go with Pagan. That's more fun.
It is? For whom? He was doing hands-free doggy style.
Hands-free?
Yeah. Hands-free.
Wow. That's, wow.
Hands-free, she says.
Yeah, right.
I ain't never even heard of that. Yes, hands-free. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have a strong core.
Yeah.
For hands-free doggy style.
And a lot of trust in your partner. A little of both.
Yup.
Sin City Beach is what they call the spot where this couple decided to bump. Other folks on the beach recorded these dumbasses with their cellular phones. You know how folks can record everything with their... and it's... They're laughing at them. You know, the folks who were recording them were laughing. But generally speaking, the Thai people are burned out on all these jagoffs that come to town and act like there are no rules. So now the word is this couple was doggying or pegging between 2 and 4 a.m. But the problem is, believe it or not, there are still a lot of people milling around on that beach at that ungodly hour. So it's not cool. It's one thing if there wasn't a single soul around, but I guess at 2 to 4 a.m., that's prime time on Sin City Beach there in Thailand. The cops, they look for this couple, but they think they left town already. You can get 5 years behind bars for banging in public at Thailand.
They don't mess around with that. They want
hands free. They don't care if you go hands free or not. You'll get 5 years. Last year, there was a woman doming a fella out under a street light on a public sidewalk. Another foreigner on vacation was banging a prostitute on the sidewalk on Christmas Day. They're tired of it. The Thai people, for God's sake. We got perfectly good hotel rooms up there that I'm sure you spent good money on. Go over there. That's what they're saying in Thailand. Okay, we got to get going.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Valentine's Day, and this morning we're in studio with Christina Christian. We are getting ready to impress everyone come Wednesday, Hump Day, also known as Valentine's Day.
Yes. Michelle Frankel is a matchmaker in New York City. She says she uses a combination of logic and intuition to match people. She has an 80% success rate.
Oh, that's pretty good. 80% success. Oh, Freudian slip.
Happy Valentine's Day!
God damn. What's with that, banging on pots and pans and hollering about Valentine's Day? What's that all about?
To get your attention, I think.
Is that to get my attention?
That's what they're saying.
You know, I was talking about how I want hats. I want establishments to sell hats on site. Everybody should be selling a hat. I don't care who you are. Restaurants, auto parts shops, you should sell me a hat. On site, none of this internet stuff. How about Wubby Cat Jesus texted in? He says if I want a NASCAR hat, I should just go to a NASCAR race.
It's the only place you can find them.
Yeah.
That's a long ways to go for a hat. But I see where you're going with that. All right, I'll get out of your way here real quick with the sports report. It wasn't as thorough an ass whooping as some folks maybe thought it might be. It took a while for the Wolves to separate themselves from the Portland Trailblazers last night, but by the final horn, the boys got a 12-point win on the road, 121 points to 109. Anthony Edwards scored 41 points.
Ooh, he's talented.
He knows what he's doing out there. The two clubs play again in Oregon tomorrow night. It's kind of a wacky thing they got going there. A back-to-back. It's a back-to-back kind of a thing. Doesn't happen very often. Pigs Yotes tonight, 8:30 on Bally Sports North. And at 8 a.m., we're going to get Marky Foligno on the phone, and we'll find out what his problem is with the attitude that he's got. We'll get another chance to talk to Marky as part of our Minnesota Wild update. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be with us at that time. Stick around. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
We're going into Vanderpump Rules. Easton, you told me that Raquel is a little nervous. She talks about it on Rachel Goes Rogue, and she's a little nervous for her podcast to be airing while season 11 is airing. Let me tell you something. She should have come back to the show. It would have been very different than what she thinks it would have been. She shot herself in the foot. She's not the brightest bulb. We all know this.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
This infection, which is caused by the bacteria Yersinia pestis, likely what they believe is this patient's pet cat maybe got infested with fleas and maybe bit this patient.
Officials in Central Oregon this week reported a case of bubonic plague in a resident who likely got the disease from a pet cat. According to the CDC, the plague is an infectious disease carried by rodents and fleas.
The most important thing is to make sure your cats and dogs have preventatives for fleas so that, a flea jumps on them, bites them, they die, because this is transmitted by fleas. It's more fleas off the rodents that carry the bacteria.
Plague symptoms can manifest in a few ways. Bubonic plague The kind contracted by the Oregon resident happens when the plague bacteria gets into the lymph nodes.
They're going to get fevers. They're going to get swollen lymph nodes, really feel bad. And then it can progress. It's the same thing. It can progress to really bad pneumonia.
Humans and pets suspected to be sick are typically treated with antibiotics.
It's actually affecting the outer, the limbs, the lymph nodes and whatnot, not going like super internally. Then they have a better chance of beating it with antibiotics.
It's not common, but it also isn't unheard of in the western United States, where a handful of cases occur every year. It's different from Alaska pox, a rare, recently discovered disease which killed a man in Fairbanks, Alaska last month. The Black Death in the 14th century was perhaps the most infamous plague epidemic, killing up to half the population as it spread through Europe, the Middle East, and northern Africa. It began devastating communities in the Middle East and Europe between 1347 and 1351. And significant outbreaks continued for roughly the next 400 years. In the U.S., an average of 7 cases of human plague is reported each year, according to the CDC. 80% of them, the bubonic form of the plague. Most of those cases were in the rural western and southwestern United States.
That's scary.
We don't hear about that too much anymore.
No.
Outside of like watching Vikings or something like that.
I kind of thought we were past that.
A man allegedly told cops he opened fire out of a window because of a tooth pain and stress he was dealing with.
That's how he dealt with his tooth pain and stress.
Yes, they let him go.
Shoot at everybody.
Police in Maine responded Sunday regarding a report of shots fired. Upon arrival at the scene, officers observed 22-year-old Christopher Bean outside the residence and ultimately detained him without incident. During questioning, he admitted to discharging the firearm from an upstairs window due to severe tooth pain and stress.
I bet he's a bright kid.
What happened next probably didn't help his stress, as he was arrested and taken to jail.
Oh. Yeah, I bet he's one of the smarter kids in town.
An award-winning professor at Penn State University, already accused of performing sexual acts in a public park on his pet dog, is facing additional charges for allegedly engaging in a spat of other lewd sexual acts in the Pennsylvania park, including masturbating in various locations and rubbing his genitals on handrails and pavilions.
Good God have mercy on us all.
And then things got weird.
What?
The latest allegations against the professor of chemical engineering come after videos reportedly showed him wearing a black ski mask and nothing else. He stood atop a pavilion in the park and engaged in a sexual act with a tree branch. Another video reportedly showed him engaging in a similar sexual act, this time with a Tootsie Pop, before masturbating in a public pond, and then things got weird. Investigators also obtained additional footage showing from a trail camera throughout the park, some of which reportedly showed the man on top of a picnic table as he performed a sexual act involving some flowers and fecal matter.
Oh, no.
Following his initial arrest last year, a Penn State spokesperson said the professor had been relieved of his responsibilities. The allegations in the earlier case stem from a trail camera being put up in the park in response to bags of hand sanitizer being stolen from public bathrooms. They didn't expect to catch what they did on that footage. Didn't take long for the camera to allegedly capture the shocking footage of the teacher, the 2017 recipient of the Premier Teaching Award from Penn State Engineering Alumni Society. But he was caught the first time. He told police he committed the lewd public acts to, quote, blow off some steam.
Blowing off some... This guy literally effed the dog?
He did.
Yeah.
And a branch, some flowers, some fecal matter, masturbated all over the place.
I should have never given this guy a penis.
No.
I just cut it off.
Yeah, you should. You're right. You should have to earn that, like a license. You have to have a license.
Because it sounds like he's quite fascinated with it and what it can do.
A penis license.
He came up with some stuff that's probably never happened before.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The owner of a salon service business faces several charges after a client alleges he exposed himself during an in-home appointment. According to charges, August 31st, the 65-year-old Blaine man arrived at a client's St. Paul apartment, which he'd been using his services for around a year. At about 1:45 p.m., he began cutting and blow-drying the client's hair. But while doing so, he was allegedly told he was excessively rubbing his crotch against the victim's body, and the victim wanted him to stop. He responded that he had to do so, quote, due to her large size.
Oh.
He offered a shoulder massage, which she did agree to. During that massage, she noticed the man went from using 2 hands to 1. And then she heard some noises and heavy breathing, charges state. At that point, she turned around to find him nude. According to the victim, the man told her he had done similar things in the past and didn't think it was an issue.
Done it before.
Yeah.
No one said nothing.
I do like those excuses.
What's your problem?
Yeah. Well, this is the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
Got naked and masturbated when you weren't looking.
That's pretty creepy.
A hiker who got lost in the hills of suburban Los Angeles was pictured getting rescued while completely in the buff. Witnesses raised the alarm about 8:45 p.m. Monday after hearing someone crying for help. The stranded man was found by chopper about 45 minutes later with photos showing him waving for help while completely naked.
What was he doing butt-ass naked out in the woods?
They didn't explain that.
Oh.
The photos, which digitally obscured anything intimate, showed him standing with his hands raised high while under a spotlight.
That paramedic there was able to attach the person to a hoist, and they hoisted them up into Fire Chopper 4 with the LA City Fire Department.
The man is thought to have been missing in the remote location since about 4 p.m., police said, without saying if they knew why he was naked or just what he was doing. The fire department said the hiker suffered minor injuries, but it was not immediately known what had happened to him.
Boy, that's different.
A brewery in the West Metro shared video of a recent mishap where a worker was knocked to the ground by a powerful stream of beer. Over the weekend, Back Channel Brewing Co. posted surveillance video from the morning of January 23rd. That video, which you can see on 93x.com, shows an employee working on a tank when beer suddenly begins bursting from it, pushing the worker back and onto the ground, nearly blowing his beard right off his face.
No way. A guy at a brewery had a big beard?
It was a surprise to all of us.
Yeah.
The worker, who thankfully wasn't harmed, got up and worked to stop the gushing liquid. The beer, appropriately called Blowback, is a New England IPA, and it's on tap, but in limited supply.
What do you do in that situation? Just open your mouth a little bit.
Take a little bit in?
Yeah, might as well, right? It's going to waste anyway.
That thing bukkaki'd the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's scary.
Drone footage shows the moment a bungling burglar was treated to a heaping serving of instant karma when he tumbled from a ladder into a pool at the Beverly Hills home he had just ransacked. There's another entertaining video you can find on our website. The botched home invasion occurred in the world-famous California zip code of 90210 on January 6th, but the Beverly Hills Police Department shared the video documenting the suspect's failed escape on its Instagram page just over the weekend. Drone footage, set to Rockwell's 1983 hit song Somebody's Watching You, shows the clumsy criminal scrambling out of a window and trying to make his getaway down a ladder precariously perched on the edge of a pool. He regretted that quickly. In the rush to flee, he lost his footing, causing the ladder to slip into the water, dragging him down with it. The unfortunate suspect performed an awkward back flip and splashed down into the pool of the home cops said he had just raided. After emerging from the pool, the waterlogged 36-year-old tried to hide in the yard, but officers found and arrested him on a burglary charge.
There he goes.
A pair of Georgia gas station store employees are accused of staging an armed robbery in which one of them acted like an anonymous robber, pretending to punch the other in the face, and the acting was so bad, police called the video very comical. Footage from the Shell gas station, which you can see on 93x.com, shows 2 separate incidents happening minutes apart. In the first incident, approximately 11:45 p.m. January 20th, Raj Patel is behind the register when a man in a hoodie accosts him and appears to jab a fist at him. It's unclear if the robbery suspect's fist even connected with Patel's face, but it sure didn't look like it, and Patel dropped to the floor immediately. The robbery suspect then left. Then a second apparent robbery happened minutes later at 12:05 a.m. This time, Patel claimed that when he woke up, the same suspect returned and took an estimated $5,000 from the cash register. Outside, police encountered 59-year-old employee Danny Curtis, who claimed not to see anything regarding the robbery, but he couldn't explain why he was seen on video changing clothes and going in and out of the store. And police said he was acting nervous when officers wanted to search the area around the dumpster. When police asked for the dumpster key, he pulled it out of his pocket and a bunch of dollar bills fell out.
Come here. He works here? You got cash falling out of your pocket.
No, I got cash.
Eventually, Curtis confessed to being behind the robbery and claimed Patel had actually recruited him to carry it out. Regarding the surveillance footage featuring Patel and the robbery suspect inside the store, the investigator told Curtis he could tell it was an act. I know it was staged. It looked fake, said the investigator, describing the footage as very comical and funny.
No Academy Award shouldn't be given on this one.
Asked about why he performed the robbery twice, Curtis said Patel told him he did it wrong the first time.
So a failed fake fight.
Yeah, not even a fight. This looked like some of those soccer falls.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Right. I mean, it was obvious he didn't connect, and the guy's like, it just went straight down. That's a good video.
That sounds like fun. I'm still pretty proud of a friend of mine and I for putting on a very believable fake fight at a beer party when we were about 20 years old. We had fake stage blood and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everybody bought it. It was a lot of laughs. We were just looking to mix things up one night, so we acted as if we were angry with each other and put on this fake fight. I mean, we had, people diving in to separate us. Women were crying. A new guy in the corner puking his guts out. We did a great job.
Did it ever escalate to a real fight?
It got close.
Oh, I've seen that happen before.
It got close. One of the homeowners where we were partying at was so pissed at me. Because in my role in the act was to be the instigator, and the homeowner bought it so thoroughly and was so pissed at me they damn near socked me in the face until we just kind of upped and said gotcha.
Yeah, I've seen that before where a couple of guys are roughhousing, laughing, having fun. Somebody goes a little too hard and all of a sudden it becomes a real fight.
Those are some of the things we came up with when we were too young to legally get into the bar.
A Minneapolis man accused of aggravated robbery, theft, and attempted carjacking was arrested last month, thanks in part to the quick actions of an off-duty deputy.
Unfortunately for him, an off-duty Hennepin County deputy was there.
Yeah, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office publicly applauded the officer on social media yesterday, highlighting his work even though he was off the clock. According to court records, a man was filling his vehicle with gas at a holiday station on 12th Avenue South in Richfield about 7:30 p.m. January 9th. That's when the 29-year-old dirtbag allegedly shoved the man and tried to get into his vehicle. The victim was able to close the car door, but the suspect started spraying the vehicle with fuel before getting in the driver's seat. Fortunately, the victim had already removed the keys from the ignition. The deputy had stopped by the gas station on his way home from work and then jumped into action when he saw what was happening, helping hold the bad guy at the scene until Richfield police arrived and arrested him.
He got locked up. 3 strikes you out, man. You come and try to carjack vehicles. We're not going to tolerate that.
Police then learned the same man had also been involved in another robbery at the Mall of America parking ramp shortly before the incident at the gas station in Richfield. Court documents state the suspect got into a vehicle while a man and his 11-year-old daughter were leaving the mall, pulled out an apparent gun, and ordered the man to drive. The victims were able to get out of the vehicle with the keys, and the suspect tried to get in the driver's seat before the man kicked it shut and the unlucky thief fled. But minutes later, he allegedly did the same thing to another driver that was leaving the mall. That time, the driver got out and the guy drove off in the vehicle. They got him now, though. He's in some trouble. You don't mess with Booker Hodges there in Bloomington. A Florida man was arrested after he was caught stealing equipment from a construction site in Lake County on Sunday so he could do some home improvement projects at his house. A deputy on patrol who was conducting a property check in the area saw the 55-year-old suspect putting brick pavers from a pallet into his bed of his pickup truck. The deputy asked the man what he was doing, and he said he was getting pavers for a project at home. He was taken into custody and transported to jail. In an unusual theft, 3 large blue U.S. Postal Service mail collection boxes were stolen in St. Paul and later found. They had been cut open, though, and it's not known if any mail was stolen. Theft of such mail collection boxes isn't common given the weight of the boxes and how they're secured to the ground, a U.S. Postal Inspection Service spokesperson said. The thefts happened sometime around the first week of January. The boxes later found in St. Paul. The Postal Inspection Service isn't releasing the locations as the investigation continues.
Some people are going to be late on their bills.
Oh, bummer. Last month, the St. Paul man was federally charged with the armed robbery of letter carriers for mailbox keys in Edina and Brooklyn Center. At the time, the U.S. Attorney's Office for Minnesota said in a press release, mailbox keys are valuable to criminals who use them to steal mail, cash, checks, and other financial instruments.
Just wall-to-wall scumbags, Cubby.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They might be in this room. We might be looking at one right now. Wapple.
Yeah.
Tonight on Sci-Fi and USA, the third season premiere of Resident Alien. I find that show awesome. Very funny. Loving it. Jimmy Kimmel's guest tonight is Pedro Pascal, and Mark Wahlberg joins Stephen Colbert. Marion Gabrick, 42 today.
Marion Gabrick.
42. Scotty in the Star Trek movies, Benji in the Mission Impossible movies, Simon Pegg, also, of course, the writer and star of the comedy Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, 54 today. In the Brother and Sisterhood, congratulations to dairy farming, sheet metal, banging your mom, Jesus, 26 years clean today.
That's awesome.
Dairy farming, sheet metal, and also he's banging my mom, Jesus.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
Busy guy.
He's a renaissance man. Well, now that he's clean, he's got all this extra energy.
Yeah.
And Montana Ranching Jesus wants to wish a happy Valentine's Day to his cows today. Yes. Fat Lebowski texted in a shout out to the wife. You can't meet a classy broad at the glory hole, Jesus. He said she doesn't believe in stupid Valentine's Day, so I don't have to go out to stupid dinner tonight. Well, how about that? That's a good pact the two of them have. Shout out to Scott Bear Jesus, currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina, but flying home tonight to introduce his girlfriend Lucy to a Minnesota winter from Padre. Mm-hmm. And happy birthday to Dawson, turning the big 06 today from Mom and Dad, Book Collector Jesus, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'm not going to answer any questions from you.
You're not?
No.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'll speculate.
You speculate and be as sarcastic as you can be, as you usually are.
I will.
Go right ahead.
Good. Should one of you guys have taken a third man in?
I said I'm not answering any of your questions.
No.
Have you ever fought before?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. Why? Are you challenging me now?
No, I'm not challenging you.
Okay.
You know, Redden sticks up for his teammates the other night.
Yeah.
And you come out with some sarcastic article.
It was funny.
It was funny?
Yeah.
You were probably beat up in the bus stop most of the time.
I think so, huh?
Next.
The late second period goal. Even the
You're a great representative of the city. You know that?
Will you let these other guys... Just go stand somewhere else, would you please?
No, I won't.
Is the guy here that caused Kevin Hayes a problem? Yes. You? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Do you think Kevin Hayes is going to do something like that?
Any last questions?
Person letting the first two by him.
It pisses me off that you guys throw that around and affect someone's life. Kevin Hayes and I had a problem. We couldn't come to an agreement how to play. That's a good man. And what you said is going to stay with him. That's what you guys don't understand. You say something, and you're going to sit there and say you have the right sources. I call. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You guys did really well. Are you the same guy I talked about? Did I go at you I'm not answering any of your questions.
He's an important guy that way.
I know he scores on the penalty shot, but Morgan's...
I'm not answering your questions.
For God's sake. I don't know why that Tortorella guy sticks around the NHL, because he's never happy in any situation.
He never even looks happy, much less sounds happy.
He's one of these guys that, he thinks he's just a big shot, and if anybody says I can't stand that friggin' guy. A little hodgepodge of John Tortorella acting like a child at press conferences right there.
It's the same guy, a Flyers reporter, Anthony Sanfilippo. He hates his guts.
Hey, Anthony.
He won't answer any of his questions.
Sanfilippo over there. That's a hell of a deal. Good morning, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, too.
What do you think about that? You guys
well, you know what? I'm not going to answer your questions. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer your question either.
You pulling out all the stops tonight?
Not really, because my wife's out of town for work, so...
For work.
Whatever.
I don't have to, which is kind of nice.
Hey, somebody else is doing it for you.
I'll be perfectly honest. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Normally on Valentine's Day, does she turn the screws on you?
No,
you better take me.
It's just set the pressures off. So
the McDonald's drive-thru. That's all you got, Brad Ryder. It's Valentine's Day. What about you, Randy? Love making?
No, not tonight.
Oh. There you go. You got to work tonight?
Got to work.
It's a beautiful thing. It's Valentine's Day. Some folks really go bananas for this.
How about you? It's your first Valentine's as a married man in a while.
Did you go through puberty between yesterday and today?
No, I'm starting to get a little...
You're not getting
a little sick.
Are you getting a cold again?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're kind of joining
around, Well, I'm around my granddaughter now. She's nothing but a cesspool of germs.
That's the thing. When you're around kids, it's a whole different ball game.
I'm shocked. I don't get sick more often because I'm around college kids all the time.
They're disgusting people, college kids.
And I don't get sick, knock on wood. But.
Randy Shaver's starting to fall into line with Dana and Ashley, where they're just constantly sick and dripping and coughing, and it's just disgusting.
What's their excuse?
I don't know. I remember last time Dana got real sick, I said, you could stand to just spend one night at home. I'm coming off like
he's getting married. That's going to change.
Yeah.
I'm coming off like a parent now. Well, Randy Shaver, Josh brought up the same thing earlier this morning. He said to me, hey, it's your first Valentine's Day as a married man. We don't get involved in that kind of stuff. I said, I'll probably go to the Legion for a cheeseburger if she wants to come with. If when I get to the Legion, I look to my right and she's in the passenger seat, great. If not...
You've never really cared what girl's in the passenger seat over the years,
For the most part, no, I haven't. So if she's there, I'll buy her a burger too. If not, whatevers. We don't really get dialed into that kind of stuff.
The last of the great romantics.
That's right, Randy Shaver. So, yeah, you know how it goes.
Sure.
What do we got going on? We got Marcus Foligno going to join us in about 20 minutes.
Good.
We'll dump a little Minnesota Wild report on you and see how he's doing. But first, let's get to some other things. Last night, I guess it wasn't really the start to finish, pillar to post, cradle to the grave type of ass whooping that some folks might have thought it would be. It took a little while for the Wolves to put away the Portland Trailblazers, but they got the win by 12 on the road, 121 points to 109.
Doesn't matter. Second night of back-to-back, you just take the win. I mean, and what I said, I got to backtrack something I said last week because I thought last week after they lost that game in Chicago that they might be sleepwalking into the break. They're not. I mean,
they're kind of turning up the heat a little bit.
Yeah, they're playing really well, so a little bit of credit to them.
And you're right. Keep in mind it was the second of a back-to-back. You're going to be a little sloppy. You're going to be a little tired. And like I said, it took a while for them to get there against the Trailblazers. Anthony Edwards didn't even think he could play last night for a while because his knee was feeling funny, but he went out and scored 41 points.
And he needed to do that because Towns did not have a great game shooting the ball. Offensively, they needed a spark. They needed somebody. I mean, Nickeil Alexander did a great job off the bench last night, but Edwards was the star of the show, and that 41 points was what they needed because Portland played a tough game. You know, the Trailblazers team is not very good, but they were competitive last night, and the Wolves answered the call. Fun part of this is they get to take the day off today in Portland and then play the same team tomorrow night. So
Right.
They'll get a chance to whoop up on them again right before the All-Star break.
Does anyone know what there is to do on an off night in Portland, Oregon?
Oh, I know what they're doing today. I can tell you what they're doing today.
Go ahead, Brad Ryder.
They're going to the Nike outlet store. That's what we used to do all the time when we were out there.
The Nike outlet store.
Yep. They're loading up the bus, and they are headed to the Nike outlet store.
Tennis shoes, headbands, tank tops.
Literally every time I was in Portland, that's what we did.
I think they should take a road trip to Bend, Oregon.
What's there?
Bend, Oregon.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The last Blockbuster on Earth.
Yeah.
The last what?
Blockbuster video store is in Bend, Oregon.
Shake your head or something. Just shake your head around. You got shake it loose. Oh man. Rudy Gobert's really playing well. Another double-double last night. That's 6 straight double-doubles.
And he's doing a great job on the defensive end, too. It's not just about points and rebounds. It's about, I know he only had one block last night, but he is providing that inside presence that teams think twice about driving to the basket. And he's just been doing a lot of great things that don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet all the time. So,
did anyone happen to see the shot attempt he had last night? Where the basketball, I mean, first off, he threw it like he was, he shot it like he was trying to put it through a window. Again, Rudy Gobert's having a great year, and he's making a lot of us, including myself, change my mind completely about the trade. We all thought it was just an unmitigated disaster. I I'm not alone. A lot of folks' minds have been changed. But still, he is very challenged when it comes to offense. Right or wrong?
Right.
Well,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Last night, he had a shot attempt where the velocity was absolutely unlike anything I've seen on a basketball court in years. There was no reason to be shooting and it went off the top of the backboard and just went shooting back towards. This was an attempt at a bank shot. It went off the top of the backboard and went shooting back towards center court. Jim Peterson's direct quote, "Rudy's getting a little carried away now." That was friggin' funny. So they get the win. They stay in Portland to have some laughs at the Nike outlet store, and they'll play again tomorrow night. All right. Okay, so they made this trade for Monte Morris. I've seen him out there a little bit the last couple of games. Yep. Supposed to help their offense, back up Mike Conley at the point guard position, this and that. The latest rumor is the Wolves are looking to add maybe another guy named Morris, and that would be Marcus Morris.
Right.
Who has a twin brother named?
Marquise.
Right, Marquise and Marcus. And the guy they have now is Monte. If you're keeping score, write this all out. It'll be easier to follow. Marcus Morris, released by the Philadelphia 76ers, if I'm not mistaken. And a couple listeners have been texting in, what do you think about the idea of signing Marcus Morris? And I said, well, if he can still play a little defense and rebound, I'll take him. And I understand he can shoot the three-pointer.
Yep.
So that's the latest rumor there on. Because although the trade deadline is come and gone, you can sign players
that have been released.
Players that have been released, exactly.
That's correct.
I'm trying to figure out why Philly released him.
Maybe he's being a dick or something.
Yeah. I mean, you see that a lot with teams maybe that are out of contention, but Philly is not.
I think when they traded for Buddy Hield, it was kind of the same position in some ways. So they probably just felt like there's too many players at the same spot.
They probably thought Buddy Hield was an upgrade over him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Maybe Marcus Morris spoke the truth to Joel Embiid and said he's the most overrated player of the last 100 years.
I don't think he did that.
All right, now Pro Sports loves the new alternate broadcast gimmick, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Every big event, there's an alternate broadcast. Yeah, you might want to watch the regular game, but maybe you turn it to the alternate channel and watch Will Ferrell and Dolly Parton call the action. I don't know.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. Okay, so the NBA All-Star Game coming up on Sunday night. There'll be an alternate broadcast hosted by Charles Barkley. Love Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Funny guy. Well-liked guy. The alternate NBA All-Star Game broadcast will be hosted by Charles Barkley and Draymond Green.
Oh,
why is a dildo like that being rewarded with this gig?
Yeah.
Man.
That's really dumb. In my opinion, that just goes to show you that if you win a couple of titles, no matter how you behave, the players run the show. That's dumb.
There weren't many other names you could throw out there that turned me off from a Charles Barkley-related broadcast, but that's definitely one of them.
Absolutely.
Kind of surprised that Barkley even would team up with him, too. Because Barkley's been pretty critical of him.
Yeah, he has, but I think Charles is so laid back and loves money.
He does love money.
That you could say, look, we're going to do an alternate broadcast with you and Satan. And Charles would say, oh, sure. I don't think he gets too worried about anything like that. But really, of all the players, current and former, you're going to go with Draymond Green. A guy who has made a fool of himself and given the NBA a bad name on multiple occasions. What a joke. I
don't disagree, yeah.
For all the people who won't tune in, though, there'll be people who will tune in just to see how stupid he sounds.
And maybe that's the angle. Is that the angle?
I think so.
He's the bad boy of the league. I mean, if Draymond Green played for the Memphis Grizzlies and had 0 titles to his resume,
right,
and someone said, hey, TNT, do you want Draymond Green? They'd say, hell no.
Well, they already have Dylan Brooks, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Did have Dylan.
But, of course, if you played for the Golden State Warriors and won one of those titles, you just live a lawless life. All right, do you want to hear one more Super Bowl story before we rid ourselves of it forever?
Sure.
All right. This is kind of funny because it involves Twitter, of course, because young people, whether you're an NFL star or a average schmuck, you have to exist on Twitter. It involves, some couple of players on the 49ers, so they lose the game. There was a big play in the game. Was this in overtime? Yes, in overtime, the 49ers had a big 3rd and 4, and nobody blocked a member of the Kansas City Chiefs by the name of Chris Jones.
Right.
He F's up that Iowa State kid's pass on 3rd and 4, and because of no one blocked this Chris Jones, they got to kick a field goal in overtime, and then here comes Dinkus, another Dinkus for the Chiefs, and they win the game with a touchdown. So, there were some pissed off members of the 49ers that, hey, man, we needed that first down. Who the hell was it that didn't block Chris Jones, the offensive lineman on the Niners? Jumping on Twitter and talking about it. So some believed that the guy to blame for not blocking Chris Jones was a 49ers tackle by the name of Colton McKivitz. But it wasn't him. It was actually a backup who entered the game named Spencer Burford. Okay. Burford got on Twitter and acknowledged, hey, it was my fault. Another offensive lineman for the Niners by the name of John Feliciano got involved on Twitter. So people were attacking, fans and such were attacking this Colton McKivitz. Feliciano jumps in there and says it wasn't Colton McKivitz. It was a backup who came in and took his place. He didn't name Burford, but everyone knew who he was referencing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So folks are saying, well, that's kind of cold. You sort of directly but indirectly threw your teammate under the bus. That teammate, again, being Spencer Burford. Feliciano felt great regret that he had thrown his teammate under the bus and jumped back on Twitter to apologize. And his apology is kind of amusing. Feliciano tweeted to Burford, I'm sorry, bro. I woke up hungover and being a bitch. In trying to have someone's back, I hurt you. And he uses you, just the letter. Like he's like a Prince song title. I hurt you. It's effed up and I apologize. You've got nothing but greatness ahead of you. And again, he says, I'm sorry, bro.
I like that about him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up hungover and being a bitch.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
So hopefully that settles things. Oh, I guess one more note. Seeing how the game went into overtime, Buffalo Wild Wings is giving away free wings.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm glad something good has come out of yet another year of the effing Chiefs bothering the hell out of us.
Seriously, though.
Monday, February 26th, go to your neighborhood Buffalo Wild Wings from 2 to 5 p.m. You get 6 free wings because the game went into overtime.
Dana?
I'll be there. I might just make a tour around the metro. Hit up 5-6 different Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, you found a loophole.
2 o'clock, Apple Valley. 2:30, Egan. 3 o'clock.
You love those boneless wings.
They'll have your picture up like a poster in
I
there.
do not serve this man. I go in, I just have wing sauce all over my hands and face. They're like, sir, please leave.
Yeah, that ought to be something. Free wingy. Okay, it's come to this. Unruly fans at youth athletic events could soon be fined $1,000 for their poor behavior. It says here a new bill here in the state of Minnesota would allow the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission to impose this fine on people who are disruptive or physically interfering with a youth ball game. You think that'll change anything?
I don't.
No, I'm in favor, but I'd like to know who's enforcing the fine and the rules.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's just the home team, then you're going to have problems there too. Because you're going to have, the home athletic director, for example, enforcing the rules at, and obviously they're not going to fine their own fans more than likely.
Okay.
Is it just high school, or is it all the way down through youth sports?
I don't have that information in front of me. Maybe someone else.
The way I read it, it seems like all youth sports. But again, who's going to enforce this?
All I know is I'm going to pick up a $5,000 fine heckling Brad Ryder at one of the Egan JV softball games this Saturday.
Yeah, they just said youth sports, so I'd imagine all the way down, right?
Yeah.
What's your deal again, Brad Ryder, with junior varsity something or another?
I'm going to be the assistant JV coach at Egan High School this summer or this spring for softball.
Dude. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work and how far down the line it goes, all the way down to mites and 6-year-olds playing soccer in a parking lot. I have no idea. And who's going to enforce it? What do you get, like a rent-a-cop?
Well, then the other thing is, do you then report the incident to the legislature? I mean, how does it work?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea. I think the idea is a long time coming, but I agree with Brad. My first question is, how do you enforce it? And how do you decide if that behavior is worse than maybe a different behavior? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the criteria that you have to cross in order for you to be fined like this?
So, I mean, there's all kinds of questions here. We don't exactly know what the hell's how it's going to work. Yeah, one F-bomb. If I dump one F-bomb, even if I'm directing it,
Well, I would really hope that you would not drop an F-bomb at a kids' youth game for any reason.
Well, he would never drop just one. That was silly that he said that.
What do you mean? You never dropped a single F-bomb at any youth?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
There's nothing wrong with a couple of F-bombs.
No.
As long as I'm not calling out.
I didn't drop any, but I heard them.
I mean, I'm watching a game. My kid skates down. He hits the post, and I go, what the F? I can't just say that.
Well, I suppose that's a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm not saying F you or, F your mother. I'm just...
You're telling an 8-year-old to F off.
I've noticed that other parents are starting to police that a little bit.
Are they?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I've seen it a few times now where somebody's getting a little out of control and other parents will say, hey, calm down.
So some of the other parents are keeping you in line, Josh, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much, and I find it rude.
Part of the reason we really need to do this is because there's such a shortage in referees in high school and youth sports. It's unbelievable. I'm actually doing a little bit of a case study on it for one of my classes here. I mean, I've talked to some people at the high school league, and I know Randy has too. It's a bad problem that's getting worse. And JV games and even some varsity games are getting canceled around the state of Minnesota because there's not enough officials.
And it's not just reaction to referees. COVID had a lot to do with this too.
Yeah.
COVID sent a lot of people that were on the fence about reffing anyway to the sidelines. And they haven't recovered from that.
There's no pipeline for younger officials to get involved. There is a pipeline, but nobody wants to. The younger generation doesn't want to do this.
I will say though, Brad, there are some high schools that are starting to have referee classes. They're starting to do, trying to get young people that are athletes to think about being a referee at a really early age.
And I'll do this as a little plug. We are starting one here at the school I
think it's a great idea. Yeah.
We're starting one this year. In fact, this spring, our longtime 30-year baseball coach here at Northwestern is teaching the class, and we're going to try to get people even from outside that don't even go to school here to come and take the class.
Yeah.
Sheetrock scrapping Zamboni driving Jesus said he's had to kick more people out of youth hockey games than the high school games in his 10 years at the rink. Wow, so he's hoping it goes all the way down.
He's throwing folks out of the rink as the Zamboni rink attendant?
Yeah.
See, I was asked to do that as well a few times. That's interesting. Because I was just going to say, speaking of, who's going to enforce the rules here with this new story about how unruly fans are going to be fined $1,000 at youth ball games. When I was driving the Zamboni at Wayzata 25 years ago, whatever it was, 30 years ago, that was an interesting thing because there were parents who thought I was in charge of throwing people out the rink, for acting up. And I couldn't have possibly cared less. But the most interesting episode was, and Randy Shaver is very familiar with this guy. You guys knew each other before he passed, did you not? Joe Laurinaitis.
Oh, sure.
Joe Laurinaitis, otherwise known as the Animal from the Road Warriors.
Right.
Legendary AWA, WWF, and WCW tag team, if not other leagues. Those are the ones that I remember. Joe Laurinaitis, the Animal from the Road Warriors. Massive dude. And his son, George, I can't think of his son's name, that played college and pro football.
Oh, yeah.
James.
Yep.
His son, James, was a tiny little youth hockey player at Wayzata when I was driving the Zamboni at Wayzata Ice Arena. And this was pretty cool. Every Saturday morning, and sometimes even on Sunday, here would come Joe Laurinaitis, the Animal, a guy I watched on television growing up. Cool, one of the Road Warriors. And he was a nice guy. We chatted once or twice, and there's this little kid playing mite hockey. Well, one Saturday morning, I'm completely half unconscious in the little warming office that I had that I would pass out in between driving the Zamboni. I just go sit in the office and do nothing. I get a knock at the door, and there's a lady on the other side of the door, and she says, "You need to get up into the stands and talk to a dad up there who's being inappropriate."
No thanks.
And I said, well, what exactly is going on? "Oh, he's swearing and carrying on and being loud and obnoxious. And it's just not right the way he's behaving up there." And I said, and then that's just all according to her. You know, I didn't see this in person. That's just what she told me. And I said, okay, point out who it is. And she points at the Animal. She points at Joe Laurinaitis. And I said, "Lady, they're going to have to pay me a hell of a lot more money for me to go up in the stands and talk to that friggin' guy if, in fact, he's acting inappropriately." And I shut the door in her face.
Microcard Jesus said their youth sports programs, they designate a person with the home team who has a bag full of suckers.
Yep.
If anyone's getting unruly or very loud, we hand them a sucker and tell them to keep their damn mouth shut.
That's hilarious.
I used to do that. I used to hand those out at a parents' meeting to start the season.
That is hilarious.
This person says, my 14-year-old kid started reffing last year for $75 a game and doesn't want to do it anymore because the parents are a-holes to him.
Yeah.
A 14-year-old kid.
But the thing is, too, you touched on something. It's actually really good money for young kids to do this.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's not the issue, is that they don't pay the young kids enough. They do, but it's just not worth it, like you said.
That was my first job. I was a soccer ref when I was, I think I started when I was 11. And I mean, sometimes I would work soccer tournaments. I would come home with like $400 a weekend.
Oh, you made a lot of money.
Oh, my God.
Just chasing little 5-year-olds around that have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, it was sweet, but I
if
mean,
you can put up with the parents, it's a good gig.
That's exactly why I left, because I mean, parents were always on my ass, and I'm like, F this.
This person says they were a referee for basketball and football. All the issues were at the youth level, so he had to give it up and only do high school ball after that.
I refereed youth soccer too, Wap. A little 5-year-old kids. One time a kid was running down the field. He fell down. He started crying. I gave him a red card.
Oh, my God.
I said, "You're out. We're not up. I'm not going to operate like this." All right, yeah, Minnesota Wild Report. Let's get Marcus Foligno in here with everybody. Good morning, Marcus.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Welcome back.
We're doing all right. It's February 14th. We got you on the line, so I guess that means you are our Valentine.
I feel so honored. Happy Valentine's Day.
You too. You know what we were just talking about, Marcus? We were going on and on about inappropriate parents at youth sporting events. You know anything about that?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I haven't gone in myself yet with my daughters or anything like that, but I've played when I was younger. I mean, it's just I've seen fights in the stands between parents. It's a joy. It's a treat. My brother's going through it right now. He's got 2 younger boys, and he said that he had a parent at his one of his parents on his team yelled at the coach on the bench from the stands about taking his son off, and why you're putting that kid on. He sucks, and it's just it's awesome.
God dang! I mean,
it's some of the stuff you see at these youth events, man. Parents are crazy. It's awesome to see what they'll do for their kids.
It can be a lot of fun and very entertaining, right, Marcus Foligno? But at the same time, it can be terrible.
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I would just sit there with my popcorn and watch it go. But as long as it doesn't involve my kid or myself, I think we'll be okay.
I think hockey parents, they get the reputation of being one of the more aggressive. But in my experience, and you could probably attest to this, Brad, softball parents were far worse.
Yep.
There was not a comparison even.
Yeah, they rivaled them. I didn't have a kid that played hockey, but I was around hockey for a while when I was the SID for Gopher Hockey, and I saw how some of those parents were, even at the college level. I mean, my gosh. But, yeah, I mean, they're close.
So, Marcus, going back to your upbringing, playing youth sports, I'm guessing from a very young age you played on high-level clubs, and that adds to the pressure on the kids, but also on the parents. You know, they get stars in their eyes, and they get a little ahead of themselves. Now, your folks, being how your dad was an NHLer, you know, they probably were able to manage that excitement, but I bet you played with some kids whose parents weren't able to manage that excitement and that pressure and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. We, I mean, and I don't know, I think my dad, having gone through it and you know, understanding that, I think there's parents out there that think their kids are going to make the NHL the next day if they have a good game and when they're 12 years old. So it's one of those, it's one of those where I think it just comes down to, like, not the experience side of it all, but going through it himself and understanding there's things of late bloomers and you know, kids that are good now aren't going to maybe be good in a couple of years. It's all that. I mean, it depends on the work ethic of the kid and all that stuff. But I think the parents now, I think they just want their kid to do well so you know, early in life that it kind of gets in the way with it when they start having success. It's just, yeah. So that's one thing I noticed. My dad never. I think the thing too is that I saw when I was younger was, like, you know, if a kid had a bad game, that the parent would kind of show frustration in the rink lobby when he was coming out or whatever. My dad would at least do it in the car on the ride home. So sure. Ride home. But, you had parents that would just pour it on their chest that like they just their kid had a bad game. I mean, the rest of if we were in a tournament a couple hours away, I mean, they wouldn't want to go for lunch. They wouldn't take the kid for lunch. So it's just one of those things where you're like, really? Come on, we can't go to Dave & Buster's today because I had, you know, no goals or whatever. So,
Nick,
stuff like that where you're just like, oh, man, it gets in the way and it's frustrating to watch.
Didn't Jordan Parisi once tell us that he had a teammate where if his teammate didn't play well, the dad wouldn't drive him home from the rink? He made the kid carry his bag and everything?
That's messed up.
That doesn't ring a bell, but, I mean, Jordan has told us many stories of same type of thing, growing up playing on these high-level clubs, you know. And
it was Zach or Jordan. I'm pretty sure Jordan was the one that told us
the kid had to walk home?
If his dad thought he had a bad game, he'd make him walk home and carry his stuff.
I had a teammate, Nathan Gerby was his name, and he was actually like a college star in Boston.
I remember the name, sure.
And his dad actually made him, if he didn't have a good game, push the car home. The car home. And if you were to look at it, like, he's an unbelievable athlete, and like he worked hard to get to. He did play in the NHL, but you know, not for the longest career. But he was a small guy too, so it was amazing that he had a career out of it. But his dad would, if he had a bad game, he would make him get out and run home. Like, it was. Oh yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen to me.
God, I hope the old man drove a Prius or something like that.
Yeah.
Fiesta.
Or not a Ford Expedition or something like that.
Or like a smart car or something they had to push. But
God dang.
My son's been out of hockey for a few years. He graduated high school, but in the when he played, and I don't know if they still have these signs up at the rink, some of the rinks they'd play at, there would be a sign saying, hey, your kid's not playing for the Minnesota Wild, relax, basically. The whole sign. Have you seen some of those before?
I haven't seen those yet.
Oh, it's pretty entertaining. Maybe some hockey parents can text in if that's still around.
I've seen those online, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's you don't know what you're going to get, especially you know, I think being in Minnesota too. I mean, with all the Edina Hornets and all that stuff, and Minnetonka, and like those big games at Braemar. Like, I'm sure that you can catch a couple parents there probably.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're right.
Just having just complete meltdowns. Speaking of parents and whatnot, have you guys have you done your parents' father-son deal or anything yet this year? You got any good stories from that?
Like our father's trip?
The father's trip.
You know what? We do it every other year, actually. So we're not doing it this year, Yeah, but there's always, I mean, the fathers stay out later than us, that's for sure, on nights out. I remember we had a game night in where we were in we had Fort Lauderdale and Tampa. We were Tampa Bay and Florida, so pretty good trip, and we had like 2 days in between, and there's this bar called the Elbow Room down the street from our hotel in Fort Lauderdale, and you can see that the parents are putting us to sleep, and then they're all meeting in the lobby, and then they're headed out to the Elbow Room, and I think we had rumors that they're out till 3:30, 4 in the morning, all the dads together. So the next day they're all coming in the morning breakfast, pretty hurting, and our coaches are like, "What the hell's going on here?" But it's a blast because like all the dads get together and like come up with all these stories, and everyone has all these paths and how they got their kid to this level, and it's really cool to see everyone kind of form and get to know each other, and it's a blast for us to watch the old men kind of get together and make up some stories.
Yeah, and it turns into a beer drinking competition, huh?
Yeah, it's like when you're in a Pee Wee tournament. All the dads just sit in the hallway of the hotel and drink. So that's the same stuff.
Yeah, we all have fond memories of that setup, don't we?
Yeah. All right, somebody just sent me a picture of the sign I was talking about. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So the sign says this: please remember, they are kids. This is a game. Coaches are volunteers. Refs are human, and your kid does not play for the Minnesota Wild.
This is what you've seen it at multiple rinks?
I've seen it at a couple, yeah.
Interesting.
And so people are saying some of the rinks that you find this at.
You could take that sign and turn it. It could be for soccer, for basketball, for softball, baseball.
Vikings.
All you got to do is just change that last team name to the Wolves or whatever.
A few folks are saying wrestling parents are a little rough as well.
Well, like we talked about this maybe just a couple weeks ago. Things are bad all over when it comes to that kind of thing. I think it's safe to say, Marcus, you're the most handsome Valentine that any of us have ever had.
By far.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. What's going on with you now? You're not on the road trip. We feel bad. We felt bad when we read about that. Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just dealing with something that's been lingering, and it's been kind of hurting the skate. So just trying to hopefully rest it here a week or two. It sucks being out at this time of the season where it's so crucial to get wins and push for that playoff. So it's frustrating, but I hope to be back soon enough and in time to help the guys do that. So just say they're playing. They had a great game last night, so just hoping for that again tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We know we'll see you back soon. Now, we were joking around on air about your club being in Vegas. And like you said, it was a great win over the defending champions the other night, but they're in Vegas the night of the Super Bowl. Did any of them text you and say, wow, we saw Taylor Swift, or wow, we saw a drunk throw up in the elevator or something like that? Or over the years, I'm sure, since Vegas became a club, 1-2 years ago, kind of interesting when you have to make a road trip to Vegas and play a hockey game.
Yeah, I just said that Vegas had a better Super Bowl party than we did, so they were hurting from it. No, I think some guys. I know that there was what I was told. I mean, when we went into Vegas, we actually had to get our hotel changed because we usually stay at the Bellagio, and everything just got so expensive. And I think it was like a minimum 4-night stay. So like we were struggling to find a hotel that wanted to take us.
Yeah.
So like we stayed at the Westin, like off the Strip, and I think we had like a little TV in the hotel room because there's nothing available in Vegas to like host 30 guys for a team party or whatever, or a team watch party at least. So it was a little bit minimal for the guys in Vegas this time around with what to do. But I know guys still went out for dinner and things like that were available. But when it came to watching the game, I think the boys just watched it at the hotel on like a 37-inch screen, which is pretty brutal. So. That's it. I think it was a tame night in Vegas, and maybe it was a good thing because the guys played great the next day.
Yeah, they did. Bellagio, is that a nice place, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's awesome. Yeah.
It's right in the heart of the Strip, so I mean, you can go anywhere from there.
I think that's where a lot of the NFL people were staying, actually.
Is that the place with the fountains?
Yep.
That's the Bellagio?
Yeah.
Sure. I walked past
it's
that.
It's the place that takes my money every time I go.
Your hockey club.
That's why it looks so nice. because it's taking your money.
That's
away.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They got no problem with
They were run
upgrades.
those fountains all the time.
Mm-hmm. A water bill doesn't mean jack squat.
Yeah.
Foligno and Ryder are coming through town at one point, and they're going to spend all their money. Your club is in Arizona tonight to take on the Coyotes, 8:30 on Bally Sports North. And I understand the Muppet Show is headed too close to Anoka for my comfort. Wapple, where are you going to be tonight?
I'm going to be at Rivers Bend in Ramsey from
that's shady.
6:30 to 8:30. We'll get you ready to watch the Wild game at 8:30 puck drop. We'll be giving away Wild Sweet tickets, hanging out with Coors Light.
Nice.
Marcus, you want to show up at Wapple's bar game tonight? For the,
Oh, my God.
Nothing
That
says
sounds
love
nice.
like Ramsey.
Wouldn't that be something if you walked in?
Oh, my God, that'd be so cool.
You'd never make it out of Ramsey.
I don't know if I've been to Ramsey, so maybe I gotta go. Maybe I gotta try it out, test it out.
Don't some folks call it Ram-tucky?
Yeah, I've got a buddy that lives in Ram-tucky.
Ram-tucky, Mound-tucky, they all have it. Blaine-tucky.
So you'll be up there for like a pregame party before the hockey game starts, Wapple.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be there at 6:30.
That is adorable. Absolutely adorable. Hey, here's the deal. So last Friday, you guys had the game against the Penguins, and you honored your goaltender, Marc-Andre Fleury, right,
Yeah.
Marcus? Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, it was a fun night. We had obviously Flower played great and locked it down in the last 2 minutes of the game when we took a penalty and made it 6-on-4. So dramatic fashion for him, and he was sprawling everywhere like old vintage Fleury does. So it was cool to see, and then obviously just to see him get the win was special on that night. And then we had a nice little party after, team party that was great. Put on by obviously his family. All his family and friends were in town too from Quebec. So good little. It was a great night. Obviously, it's more enjoyable when you win. So it was fun. All the guys had a good time, and he was pretty. He felt pretty honored that he's such a humble guy too. So he seemed really happy all night. And that was great to see the look on his face all day.
That's cool. And for pregame warm-ups, you guys wore some special sweaters.
Yeah.
And
sweaters, yeah.
You like the looks of them?
Yeah, well, all the guys are joking. They're like, we're not, like, auctioning these off, right? Can we just keep these? We have to watch the flower. And then our Tony DaCosta, our trainer, was like, "Yeah, don't worry, we'll get you guys some." But I think they're going to be auctioning those jerseys off or something like that. So that'd be a pretty cool thing to have. But it was just
you can bid on
all
them
the
now.
young guys wanted them. Oh, really? Okay, nice. I mean, that's so cool. Like the print of the flower and the numbers and everything. Like they did really cool details on those jerseys. So it was awesome.
I have some information here, Marcus, on the bidding that's going on right now for the sweaters that you boys wore for pregame skate. For the Marc-Andre Fleury game. And this might hurt your feelings a little bit now. This is the latest. As of, what day is it today? Wednesday?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
As of yesterday at noon, here are some of the bids for different players' sweaters. Now, it goes without saying, the Marc-Andre Fleury sweater, the latest bid, over $10,000.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
And all of the proceeds are going to go to the Minnesota Wild Foundation, which does wonderful things.
That's awesome.
So Fleury over
$10,000. Tell me I'm second.
No bids yet.
Let me.
What?
No, you're actually up there.
This is what upset. I'm upset. Okay, the Russian kid, Kaprizov, $2,500.
Okay.
But then,
oh my God, Jesus, I'm below than that.
Your bid isn't as high as a rookie.
What?
Oh my God! I gotta get on it. I'm gonna start bidding on it.
Yeah, you go. You're
gonna
right to your jersey.
You go bid on it.
I'm gonna go bid on that, jack that price up.
You can't let a rookie Faber beat you in this deal, dude. You better get on the phone and make. You might have to make your own bid.
You know what? They obviously didn't do a good enough job marketing this, so that's our promotion. So I'll send it into Sicky right now and be like, "This is unacceptable."
I agree with you.
Sickman's gonna hear it.
I mean, the 5-6 of us can make a phone call, and we can probably come up with $100 between the 5-6 of us.
Maybe.
Yeah, it says right here, who else is here? Zuccarello, $1,500. Okay, you're higher than Zuccarello, Marcus.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Now we're back.
Yeah, you're back in business now.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. As long as I can beat Zuki.
Yeah, you're a little over $1,500. You're a little higher up than Zuccarello, but Faber's got $2,000. Highest bid on Faber's sweater, $2,000. Marcus Foligno, $1,576. Somebody do something to change that.
Anybody you want us to look up to see where they're at compared to yours?
Maybe Brandon Duhame.
Oh, yeah, I think you beat him.
Okay.
Yeah, his is at $825.
Oh,
wow,
so
that's way too high for that guy. I sits on $8.25. We always like to give Duhame a hard time. He's one of the best. But he's a guy that will easily give it back to you when he has a chance. So that's why it's always fun to jump in this space and every weekend.
So you got Duhame dusted. Who else does Marcus have a comfortable lead over?
Quite a few.
Okay.
Let me see.
Oh, great. It's gonna be a great day today. Thank you.
Hartman's at $825.
Okay.
Ooh, Archie.
Let's see who else we got here.
Would it upset you to lose out to Faber? He's a rookie. Would it upset you? Is it going to create a rift between the two of you?
I don't know. He might be like a future captain, so I'm okay with it.
All right.
Johansson.
That guy's like one of the best guys, so I'm okay with him.
You okay?
You never want to get beat up by a young guy. I might, like I said, I might have to go on his website later and just
say I wouldn't feel bad about going on and bidding on your own jersey. I've seen that happen before.
It's for charity. It's for the Minnesota Wild Foundation, right? So
right. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Brad Ryder. You've seen an athlete bid on his own memorabilia?
Actually, his wife. Yeah. When I worked for the Wolves, a wife of a player bid up a jersey, something like this.
Now, was this just to save embarrassment?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So it's kind of like what I'm doing then too.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, you're doing it publicly. It's fine. You're admitting it.
That would be
that's true.
That is hilarious to think that as soon as Marcus is done with us, he's checking out the Wild website to throw $500 extra at his own jersey.
I love it too, because you guys are going to be refreshing that page in a couple hours and be like, I think you did it.
All of a sudden, his jersey will be $10,000.
Well, that's good stuff. And Wild fans, check that out, because the money goes to a good cause, the Minnesota Wild Foundation, and those were cool-looking sweaters. And you can help Marcus out a little bit. Have him walk, so he can walk through that locker room with pride, with even more pride than he already has. We got to get going, Marcus, but as always, it's a blast talking to you.
Thanks, guys, and have a great Valentine's Day with whoever your Valentines are. Hopefully it's not as handsome as me, but...
No way.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.
You are one romantic son of a bitch, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Thank you, Marcus. Our Minnesota Wild Report brought to you by Luther Kia of Bloomington. We thank those people. Marcus is always fun to talk to.
How long do you have to bid on that? What's the deadline?
I'm not sure. Do you see something there, John?
Let me look that up.
It goes until next Monday.
Till next Monday.
Yeah, people got the whole weekend to bid that up.
Oh, wouldn't that be great if that one went for the most?
We have to check back on Monday and see how he did.
Hey, look, if our listeners can friggin' put what's his nuts in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, really.
Andrew DePaula, that they can add a few dollars. Come on, you cheap bastards. Add a few dollars to Marcus Foligno's.
It's probably a tax write-off, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it is, right? Yeah, some sort of charity thing. Well, remember Zach Parisi, when he, on his one fight on hockeyfights.com, you could vote who won, and we mentioned it a few times, and 93X listeners made him the winner.
That was awesome. So fun.
Which he wasn't beforehand.
God, what was the name of it? Dan Boyle.
Yep, that's it.
Hockeyfights.com. We found video of Zach Parisi's one and only career fight, and it was against a guy named Dan Boyle, when Zachy was on the Devils and Boyle was on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And you could vote on who won the fight. And at first, there were almost no votes, right?
He was getting destroyed. Zach was getting destroyed, yeah.
And they all voted for Boyle. The Brotherhood changed that. That's a great example, Josh.
Yeah.
Great example.
Oh, here I got the call.
Power of our listening audience. Yes.
Hold on, I'm going to have to fix something here. Otherwise, it's going to sound stupid. So, it looks like March 7th, 2008 is where this comes from. Okay, sorry. I got some issues here.
The audio of Boyle and Parisi tangling?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Beyonce plays, and now we have a scuffle at the front of the net between Boyle and Parisi. Oh, this is a good lightweight battle. Boy, something really ticked both these players off. First scrap that I can think of for Zach Parise in his career here with the Devils. His tie down, as you can see, has come loose. Oh, Danny Boyle, the aggressor. Zach's sweater coming right off his back. This is certainly something we weren't expecting.
And Boyle never played the game again. I'm kidding, of course. Jesus. Randy and Brad, thanks very, very much.
Okay.
We will talk to you soon. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
The Rolling Stone Music Now podcast gets inside the biggest stories with Rolling Stone senior writer Brian Hyatt.
And here's Lil Yachty with Tierra Whack.
I've never been to a fashion show. I never did any Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, and I'll tell you why. Because I would always go to events and people would say to me, "Oh man, Yachty, man, I love your music, bro." And I should be like, "What song?" I didn't even, at the time, I didn't love my music. I would feel like I'm in a room with all these artists and they all respect each other, and I feel like no one respects me.
Rolling Stone Music Now, wherever you listen.
Well, polish up your dog schlong, because you're about to score. If your job is scoring, you'll never work a day in your life.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's absolutely unbelievable around here. It's 8:33 on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. She's Valentine's Day. Suckers as far as the eye can see, spending every last dime they ever made on their high-maintenance significant others today on Valentine's Day. For some of you, things get all sweet and romantic and all that on Valentine's Day. And sure, if that's your thing, go ahead. Some folks out there are going to try and get laid.
Yeah, I mean, for some folks, it's maybe only a few times a year they do, and this is one of those occasions.
Wouldn't that be something?
Birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day, that kind of thing.
Some folks are going to try and just up and get laid tonight. It's a special night. All right. Here's the deal. I want to play a guessing game. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
I love guessing games around here. I love your guesses. Here's the question. Speaking of folding each other in half, what is the number one mood killer when you're lining up to get it on? You're all lubed up. You're getting into battle positions. Battle stations, Winger used to say, didn't they, Josh?
Oh, great song.
And then this kills the vibe. What is it? The number one vibe killer when you're lining up to bump.
Calling them by the wrong name.
Calling your partner by the incorrect name. That was the guess of Dana. Wobble!
I'm going to say maybe some toilet paper or something's hanging down.
What the hell are you talking about? Yeah. Toilet paper hanging down from what?
You know, your beehole? You didn't wipe so good and there's a little chunk of toilet paper.
Yeah, okay. That is disgustingly specific.
Yeah, I feel like that must have happened to you at some point.
No,
toilet paper hanging off, sticking on somebody's dirty ass is what you're saying.
I would not want to see that.
That's the number one mood killer.
Yeah, that would kill the mood for me.
Ashley.
A penis that's not at attention.
Oh, okay. Not saluting.
Yep.
I mean, it happens to everybody.
That can be a mood killer, then.
Very judgy.
I can guarantee you Josh probably already knows the answer.
Well, Wapple took mine.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell is the matter with you?
Minds think alike.
So we've got calling your significant other by the wrong name, soft Peter, and toilet paper sticking to a dirty bottom. Are the three guesses for the number one mood killer when a couple's lining up to bone. None of yous were even close.
Toilet paper. Dang it.
None of yous were even close. Some guesses were more ridiculous than others, obviously.
Yeah, Ashley.
Number one answer? Ew. This is one of my least favorite things in the whole world. Bad breath.
No, I can fight through that.
Really?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No, we're talking bad breath.
There's an easy solution to that. Just flip over.
What?
The girl, just flip over. There's no reason his face needs to be in yours.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Right?
Fair enough.
Right?
Oh my God.
You're not wrong.
I like it. You think of solutions outside the box a little bit. Pardon the pun.
All right. Just flip on over.
Kids can ruin the mood.
Yep.
That can happen. What else can happen? Certainly any bodily function you might not be expecting. That can ruin a mood.
Maybe neighbors.
Some weird stuff happens.
Yeah, what is going on,
Well,
Bob?
like if you're living in an apartment, and they're yelling, you're trying to get it on.
Well, how often does that happen?
I don't know.
The neighbors are yelling at you for what? Why are they yelling at you?
No, they're just, loud on the other side of the wall or something, and it kills the mood for you.
Dude, you are a weird kid. You really are.
I really want to know about this toilet paper thing the more I think about it.
Yeah, did this happen?
You're right, that happened.
No, it did not happen.
It never happened.
It must have happened. It's okay if it happened.
No, it didn't.
It happened.
Then how the hell did you come up with that if it didn't happen?
Because I would not want to see that, and it would kill the mood.
Boy, I don't know, man.
What would bless the mood? No, I'm sorry. I don't want to go in that direction. I couldn't help myself, but I don't want to hear the song again. Those are interesting answers, Wapple. Number one, how do you call it bad breath?
How about when a parent walks in? A couple people have texted that.
What else am I finding here? Of course, this was a result of some kind of study where they asked folks about mood killers in the sack. The study was specifically about orgasms and things that prevent women and men from getting there. That's a little more specific in itself right there. Bad breath, okay, is number one. Also, top mood killers, the position. It's a position that, this is my guess, from only having that information in front of me, the position does nothing for you. You're not being stimulated the way maybe you would like to be in certain positions. That's my decoding of that. Josh, would
Certainly,
you?
yeah.
Okay.
That, or maybe you're just, you find it strange or uncomfortable, aside from not stimulating you.
Strange, that's wonderful to elaborate. Strange or uncomfortable, or how about a position that makes your partner or partners look way more unattractive than they really are?
Yeah, that's true.
You see where I'm going with that?
A little ridiculous.
Yep. That's ridiculous. Look at you. I can't keep...
And then right afterwards, when you get that post, you know what, clarity. What's wrong with you? Why would you do something like that? Why would you allow me to do something like that?
All right, further mood killers. The temperature of the room.
100%. If I'm too hot, pisses me off.
I can tell.
Well, just flip over.
Yeah, that's all I got to do, flip over.
Okay, the temperature of the room. That's not anything that would enter my mind.
Or if you got the fan going too high, and then it kind of like, dries everything out.
I don't have a problem with that because I hate, absolutely capital H, hate fans anywhere near me, whether I'm in bed sleeping or performing a sexual act. F those stupid fans, throw them in the garbage.
Yeah, you only like them in stands.
Fans, Trojan fans in the stands, if you're with us, clap your hands. We used to say back in high school.
Bad dirty talk. That can kill it. That can kill the mood.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Jesus, some people just suck at that. But yeah, I don't like to be cold, so I suppose if it's too cold, it might affect me a little bit. It would have to be really, really cold to, just kill the mood altogether. The lighting comes into play for some. The lighting?
Maybe too much light, perhaps?
Oh, I like every last bit of light on.
And then you know how it is, like the lights that you need for the cameras and stuff, those are extra bright, cause a lot of heat.
Who else likes all the lights on?
Oh, I like to see what's happening.
Yeah,
of course.
Not too much, though.
What?
I don't like never the main light, the ceiling light. It always has to be like, maybe the Christmas lights are plugged in because I have those in my room all the time, or like like a side light.
I want
Nothing
the amount
too
of
bright.
light that I imagine on my deathbed I'll see with St. Peter on the other side as I'm approaching him. I want that light.
Me too. Oncoming train type light. I want to see everything. Don't give me this. It's going to be dark. What are we in junior high?
For me, it's more
I
like
want to see stuff.
I don't want to be like too exposed. I guess I don't. It's for me. Like I like seeing everything, but I don't want them to get like. I don't want them to see every single part of me. The unflattering
just turn
parts.
over.
Just flip on over. Flip on. If you flip over enough times, you're going to pass out, and then there's no light at all.
Pets sometimes can ruin the mood, especially if they have like an accident.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Just staring.
Pardon me now?
Just staring the whole time.
Yeah.
One time the dog stepped on like the most obnoxiously sounding squeaky toy ever, and we both just couldn't stop laughing just because of how out of nowhere and unexpected it was. That we were just kind of like that. We're just burst out laughing.
I had a dog that sent me a message one night. I'll be damned. Because I left him in the house for 20 hours or something. I was just on a horrible drinking binge. Poor dog. Brought a lady home, right? Brought a lady home. We didn't even bother to let the dog out to go potty. We went straight to the bedroom. And the dog thought, okay, smartass, you want to leave me here for 20 hours and then not even acknowledge me when you walk in the door? I got something for you right here. And he just laid a coiler right between my feet. And I said to the gal, I said, not for nothing, but that wasn't me. Was that you? And she said, no, that wasn't. I looked down and that, trust me, those dogs are smarter than you think in some situations. He did that absolutely on purpose to say, F you, pal.
Yep.
And by the way, she's not even that good looking, he said.
Cramps. You cramp up, you get a leg cramp or something, that can kill it. Mrs. Jeweler Jesus said, how about a baby screaming? Yeah, that can kill the mood.
Kill the mood. That's what
Especially if you don't know whose baby it is and you're wondering, why is there a baby in my apartment?
There's no babies out here. There's no babies out here. What movie? Blair Witch Project.
Premature ejaculation can ruin the mood. Sure. And this guy says, it's never happened. I'm just saying it could.
I saw it in a movie once.
Just like the TP thing. It's never happened with Wapple.
It hasn't.
But it could.
What happened with the neighbors? What are they yelling at you about again?
You can just hear them on the other side of the wall.
So you're trying to have sex and you mean hear them just watching television and doing, and that kills the mood?
Yeah, because then I start to get in my head. Oh, they can hear me.
Oh, that's a good point.
Are you a total silence, total darkness guy?
No. No.
What else did they cover here in this stupid survey? Things women want more of in bed. Like we give a rat's ass, right, Cubby?
Of course we give a rat's ass.
Of course we do. Women want more cuddling and more kissing and more romance. And maybe a massage first.
I would say my wife doesn't want any of that.
Yeah, romance.
Yeah, the kissing. I don't think she wants to do that at all.
You want to know what the dudes want? They want to see you strip. Lap dance. Give daddy a lap dance real quick before we... I like that idea a lot.
That would speed things up too much.
Speed things up too much? What do you mean?
If I did something like that, it would turn like a 10-minute session into a 2-minute session.
Oh, you're saying he wouldn't be able to last?
Yeah.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh, aren't you something? Double D's Jesus said battery running out of the toys before finishing.
That's very inconvenient.
I just had a buddy of mine tell me about that, and his wife requires the stimulation of him and a toy at the same time.
Sure, who doesn't?
And apparently the battery ran out, and he said it was like trying to climb a mountain without a Sherpa. You needed the help to get to the peak, and the Sherpa disappeared.
That's a brilliant way to put it.
Yeah.
Brilliant way to put it. The battery...
he's got away with words.
The toy ran out of batteries. We dudes, we want to see you chicks strip. We want, according to this survey, just more sex in general. And guys also want more kissing. I'm the best kisser any of yous have ever met.
I can attest.
I am. I'm the best at it. There's nobody better in town than me when it comes to that kissing.
Bank examining Jesus said cuddling and romance. She doesn't even look at me anymore. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Happy Valentine's Day from the Half-Assed Morning Show. God dang it, I mean that. We were talking about mood killers earlier on. Because some of you might be preparing for a physical encounter before the night is over. Mood killers.
All shaved up, ready to go.
Oh, God.
I had a question for you, Ashley.
As hairless as the day you were born.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll be a beaut. Don't nick anything. That can be a mood killer right there.
Ooh.
So you had said, Ashley, if you were to do a little bit of a strip tease for your boyfriend, that would speed things up to a point where you wouldn't be satisfied.
I think she said it'll turn a 10-minute session into a 2-minute session.
Yeah, no, I'll give him some props here. There hasn't been a single sexual encounter where he has finished before I have.
But you were saying that you think that would kind of ruin it. Like he'd go too quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just setting up a joke. Don't worry about
please,
it.
I'm really going a long way for this.
This is just a setup.
It's Valentine's Day. I don't want to be a douche.
There's no police investigation. He's setting up a joke.
I am, and I took some time to write this out.
Right.
Okay.
And also, you know what? It's exactly what you said. You're being weird about it now. I think you must regret it. But what I was wondering, not really, but for the purposes of a joke, what I was wondering is it the same the other way around? Like, if you were to see him do a little bit of a striptease, would that do anything for you to get your motor going?
Yeah, definitely.
It would?
Yeah.
So you think that would speed things up?
Yes.
Maybe it's something you might request.
Yeah, probably. That'd be fun.
I think, like, with my wife, we've been married so long, I don't think I can really turn her on anymore. Like, I like it when she allows me to watch her take a bath, right? Like that could speed things up, but... On the flip side, I can't imagine her getting turned on by me taking a bath.
Oh, no.
My genitalia just floating to the top like wrinkled pond scum.
Yeah, that's a little different, the bath thing.
Just my extra skin floating around.
How much extra skin do you have, Josh?
A lot.
You're sitting there listening to a boring book on tape or something like that in the bathtub.
It's not going to do anything for her. Yeah, it looked like a stingray, Ashley. There's all the extra skin on the sides.
Oh, my God.
It's horrible.
I don't need to picture that.
Well, of course you don't.
Now.
I just text your phone. Take a look at that. That's 4K disgustingness right there.
Oh, man.
We were talking about mood killers, right? Bad smells, the dog, the kids. Bad breath was the number one most common mood killer when folks were asked about it. What do I have here? Some text messages from our listening audience on further mood killers. Oh, somebody said when the toys run out of batteries, right in the middle of your session. Some of you like those toys just buzzing up and down, things clamped down on your this and your that, and you strapped onto this. When the toys run out of gas, Craig Rosen's beard said, hell, when the toys... Oh, did I already blow the joke? I think I did. When the toys run out of batteries, Craig Rosen's beard texted in and said, hell, when the toys run out of gas.
What the hell?
I didn't know they made him that powerful.
This does nothing for me.
Measurement, Jesus, when the bed frame breaks and the whole works lands on your foot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That'd be awful.
Mood killer.
That's like a problem. Apparently, there were some beds that were getting recalled not too long ago. I forget where they were selling them. Some box store of some sort. They had to recall some beds because they were breaking when people were, marital relations and whatnot.
When you're,
or extramarital relations.
I'd love to stroll back in there. Yeah, broke another one, boys.
When your wife comes home early, that's a mood killer. Another listener says, I was hooking up with a gal one night, and Kill Bill came on the television, and it killed the mood because it was much more interesting than what we were doing. But love is a beautiful thing.
It is, and I hope everyone finds it.
Love is a beautiful thing. But, we just covered bad breakups and whatnot yesterday. I know this. But still, relationship disasters and crazy exes are so much more fun to talk about than love.
That's true.
And I bumped into just a few more. I know we just covered this roughly yesterday, bad breakups and crazy nonsense that goes along with failed relationships. But I ran into a few more that I had to share with you. There was a guy who went to jail because he called and texted is how you say it. A guy went to jail for calling and texting his ex-girlfriend 21,807 times.
Ooh. That's terrifying.
So this is for some of you who are going out on a Valentine's Day date tonight with your significant other. Listen to these. Here's how it might end for you. Here's how it, not tonight, but just the bigger picture. Here's how it might end for the two of you. 21,807 total phone calls and text messages to your ex-girlfriend.
It's a bit excessive.
A gal was looking to take revenge on her ex-boyfriend, but she set fire to the wrong car.
Oh.
That is so awesome. Did you know about this, Josh? Apparently, a guy and his wife are having an argument, and she pulls a gun from her vagina.
Whoa. I'd be amazed before scared at first, I think.
I have questions.
He thought, okay, kind of like in the movie The Outsiders. Remember The Outsiders? C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Tom Cruise, what was his name? Patrick Swayze. The Outsiders. Anybody?
Been a long time, but yeah, I do remember seeing it.
Remember when they agreed to have a rumble with no weapons? This guy went into this argument with his wife thinking, okay, there's no weapons. I'm likely going to make it out of this one alive. And she hauled a gun from her privates.
Oh, right out of the old Glock holster.
Oh. There was a naked girl who tried to break into her ex-boyfriend's house and got stuck in his chimney.
Oh, no.
This is some of you, again, going out on dates tonight. There's a chance that this is how it's all going to end. And I don't know, this is a really odd one. Maybe I shouldn't have saved this for my last one. A woman was so upset with her ex-boyfriend, she sent him 1,000 pounds of onions to try to make him cry.
Isn't there a type of onion that doesn't make you tear up? That would be awesome if those were the onions.
It's called a Funyun.
I do love Funyuns.
That is the onion that will not make you. Take it away, Cubby.
Double D's, she's texting a shout out to her boyfriend Ross for their 9th Valentine's Day together, and they have a tradition of a 70s or 80s movie. Tonight, Slapshot is on the menu. Wicked Ways Jesus said Happy Valentine's Day to his smoking hot wife, Wicked Angel Jesus. Good luck to former radio guy Jesus. He's having a pretty major nose surgery today, I guess. His lovely wife, Vertically Challenged Jesus, text us that. Happy 11th birthday to Caden from Mom, and happy 37th to Army Mechanic Jesus. Have a sexy Valentine's Day.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.